Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
They come out.
Hey! Here we are! Happy Tuesday!
Everybody's
Joe
wearing
Flacco.
black, or is that navy there, Jay?
I would call this Navy. Yeah, I would call this Navy.
Yeah,
Why, is everyone wearing black for the funeral?
You're a little un-American today.
Hey, man, we stand with Canada. No. Shout out to my Canadian brethren, man. Listen, I used to travel in the middle of the night when I was in my college days. We used to drive to Windsor.
Yeah.
Oh, I spent some college days
You
there.
could drink up there at 18.
18 night. We used to go up there on the weekend, so we would leave.
Gamble.
Oh, yeah. All the
back
above.
blue.
Oh, yeah.
All the vices are there.
Oh, yeah. And then my coach used to say, he's like, we used to have this thing where you say you had to earn your weekend. So we had to get up at Friday morning, like during the off season, and it was basically so you couldn't just go lose your mind. Earn your weekend 6 o'clock. So if we didn't play well, or we didn't do anything, or we was nasty work on Fridays, we'd have to come back on Saturday. So we didn't get no weekend. So we used to go work out, and as soon as that workout was over, me and my roommate from Westville South, shout out to Chris Foreman, we get in this little Jeep Cherokee, and we was to Windsor going right through.
Now, what
Detroit.
was that, like a 4-hour, 3-hour trip, something like that?
Well, 75 miles an hour at that time. We
Yeah.
got 80 miles and going through Detroit. So
Imagine from Bowling Green.
Hour 10.
You're right there.
Woo,
You're in another country in an hour.
A whole nother situation.
Yeah.
The thing,
Wow.
and back then, you didn't even have to have no passport.
No.
It was straight ID.
Come on in,
bro.
Yep, come in.
So I had a lot of good times. I had to support y'all for my debauchery back when I was 19, so we appreciate you.
Aren't you glad there weren't cameras
Oh,
everywhere
bro,
back then?
That's why I
And
can't
Twitter.
get mad at nobody.
Twitter, social
Man.
media. Woo!
That would have been bad.
Nasty.
I think we might have been the last generation that got out alive.
Man, listen.
Proof of everything now.
I was the last generation. Facebook came along
It
in
is.
2006. And Ohio University, it was just a place where you go and watch people who are partiers. Like, you'd be like, oh, this is a place where you find girls on an album. And it was us and Harvard and 3 other schools, Wisconsin, some party schools, West Virginia. And then all of a sudden, it got big. And then like 10 years later, it was regular kids on Facebook, like high school kids.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
And
said,
now-
We used to
now
have,
it's for
we used
old
to have to have a college
now it's just
email address to get
EDU,
Facebook.
just to even get Facebook.
Now it's just crazy people and saying crazy
Oh,
things.
it's
Yeah,
Never had
stay
Facebook.
away.
I still don't have Facebook.
Stay away.
it's
I
crazy.
have it,
do
but
it.
I don't ever look at it.
Used to be solo cut pictures, not anymore.
Yeah, it was.
Speaking of parties,
Yeah.
happy birthday to Dustin Fox, 43 years
43.
old today.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you, guys.
He's now
Thank you.
significantly older than what I
I
was
was
when we
20. I
started
was
Bull
29.
Yeah.
Or 28.
Oh, my
God.
Still, you got your inaugural dunk in the basketball. So
got it.
He
Yeah.
commemorates his
What year
his
do you think
birthday.
you'll no longer be able to do that?
Man, that's a good question. If I can remain, knock on wood, relatively healthy, like no major like knee injuries or Achilles or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think another 5 years.
Maybe? Yeah.
So it can't, obviously me and Dustin are from the same city, right? So him and his brother used to have this legend. Like, they used to be legends because, back then, we thought, white dudes couldn't jump
Or run.
or do anything.
Yeah, anything athletic.
But his brother, like, they were like, it was a legend. It was like, hey, there's this kid named Derek Fox. He's a white dude, and he plays defense.
He was the original gangster.
And he was when he in the dunk contest. I remember
Probably.
him being in the all-city dunk contest, and he was the only white dude. And this dude was taking off from like the dots. I said, "This is unacceptable." I had never seen
Cannot have that.
This is blasphemy. Like, somebody check these folks out. So yeah, Dustin and his brother, they was really going part to part.
That's
dunking.
like Corey, every NCAA final and every Olympic
Ain't that
trials
crazy?
final he was ever in. He was the lone light kid.
He
was it.
That's wild work too, man.
Yeah,
Listen,
that was it.
Shout out to Corey, man. Hey, you need to have these kids so we can go ahead and
Corey played ball with me this weekend. We faced a kid throwing low 90s.
Nice. How did he do?
Uh,
Does he play baseball anymore?
Corey quit for his junior year at track and never played again.
Oh,
he
wow.
pitched,
Yeah.
threw very well, hit the ball fantastic, and it was hilarious. He said in the dugout before game 1, "Don't walk me, it's a triple." And he wasn't lying. And they had, I'm telling you, there were some players in this tournament.
Nice.
Some player. This
Did
kid
you guys
that
win?
was throwing low 90s just got released by the Rangers.
What's his name?
I don't know. He's from Ravenna, or he's from the Ravenna area. The team was from Ravenna. I got hit in the upper shoulder with a 88-mile-an-hour fastball, black and blue like that.
Too close to the plate. They had to brush you back.
I get up on it now. But
Dude, you know that.
stay forever young, brother.
Yeah,
Don't
there
ever
you go.
stop.
Keep going.
That reminds me, Aaron in our championship game got hit. I thought he got hit in the head. I was coaching third.
Yeah.
And he just got hit for the hardest thrower in the league. This kid throws, 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
This kid throws about 60, which is
Right.
pretty
Yeah, for
hard at that
young
age.
dudes.
And he took it. I thought he took it in the head. He actually got it right in the shoulder, but
That's where I got
he
hit.
immediately ran to first.
Yeah, you
like
can't
a lot
rub
of
it.
times the kids are jumping around, they're
Yeah.
crying. I was like,
Take your base.
I was impressed with
Yeah,
it.
take your base.
On that.
All right, guys,
By the
we got a
way,
big-
I got to share a story. One of my crazy
All right.
stories, Mike, real quick before we get into
All right.
it. This is a
My
quick one.
crazy story.
It happened. It actually happened like 10 days ago, but I forgot to talk about it. So I called the police on somebody in a Heinen's parking lot. And I thought you guys would appreciate this story. Did I do the right thing? So
Why?
I
This
get
is
out
not
of.
going to be quick.
What's that?
There's no way this is going to be quick, but I'm very excited.
No, it's
to
a
see
quick
where it
story.
goes.
This dude.
So, it's all right. We'll survive without Browns talk for every second of the show. We'll be okay.
All right, here we go.
Might be better for it.
Yeah. So I get out of Heinen's. It's towards the end of the day at Heinen's. They're getting close to being closed. And it's a hot day. This was like a week or so ago. It was really hot. And I go to my car and I hear this dog going bananas.
Oh, no.
And I look at the car next to me, and the dog's freaking out. There's no windows open in this car. Not a single window open. So I'm like, what is going on?
What was the temperature?
It was really hot. It
Well,
was in the
last
80s.
week there were days in the mid-80s.
Yeah, it was really hot.
Yeah,
it was
hot.
brutal.
But mid-80s outside in a car with the windows up
Yeah.
could easily be 110.
So-
The windows were not correct at all?
no, I walked around the entire car. There was not a cracked
I'd
window.
have done the same thing.
Yep,
I
you're
called-
right then.
I was like,
You're
what am I
right.
going to do? I couldn't in good conscience leave.
No, you did the right thing.
No, you
I was
did the right
thinking about
thing.
smashing the window,
No, that-
and I was like,
Yeah,
nah,
that would
don't
have
do
been
that.
for a child,
unless
maybe.
you
Yeah,
did-
yeah.
if a
If
child-
it was a child, I would 100%.
Well,
Yeah.
you could've, if the dog was struggling, you could tell. Like, could you see the dog?
The dog was freaking out. Like, the dog was barking like a maniac and just running around the car. And I'm like, this is crazy. So I decided to call the police. I don't know what happened.
That's the right call.
I called the police. They said they would come, and I left. But
Here,
You
okay.
did the right thing. I would have
Okay.
called too.
100%.
Here,
good.
so I this is crazy. I
Yeah.
work. Shout out to the meat guy at Heinen's. But
Wow, it's their second shout out to my butcher
That was-
in show history.
you could have went inside and said, "Hey, with the owner of a blue Cadillac, please let your windows down. Your dog is dying."
yeah, I guess I could have done that too.
Yeah.
That's true. That might have been the better course of
mean,
action. But
Decisions.
That
Yeah.
gets immediate action because
Yeah,
the
that's
cops
true.
probably would have had to, 5 minutes to get there, go to the manager,
Yeah, that's
page
true.
the guy. Every
Yeah,
minute,
yeah.
every
yeah,
minute
I probably
counts.
should have done that. I don't know why I didn't
Yeah.
think to do that.
Well,
Then
now we know.
By the way, then yesterday at Heinen's, I locked my keys in my car.
So you had to call the cops again.
Well, no, in this case, my wife had an extra set of keys, so I had to call her.
Classic. All right, guys, let's dive into it. We got two things we got to get to
Yeah.
before Leroy joins us. Our first topic of the day is brought to us by FanDuel. The NFL season's here, guys. FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet. The Browns traded Joe Flacco to the Bengals yesterday, and there are two facets of this deal that I want to dive into. The first and the most pressing is a question we may get an answer to in the next hour. Kevin Stifanski is set to speak to the media at 12:05 today, so we will react to what he says. But G. Bush, with Flacco gone, we know Dylan Gabriel is QB1. Do you think Shedeur Sanders or Bailey Zappe will end up being QB2 against Pittsburgh this week?
Why you do that? Why you do that, bro? Come on, man.
I think we're all going to agree on this.
Let me get close and
I guarantee you do not all agree on
The
that.
question isn't, though, who should be. It's who will be.
Hey, well, listen.
Yes.
Hey,
Well,
Kevin.
with the Browns, all bets are
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
So
Kevin.
that's true.
Let me just do you a favor. Please do not pour dirt on your own grave. Why would you do that? Why would you, like, at that point, you're just not even helping yourself. Why would you then put Bailey Zappe? Let's be real. Bailey Zappe is not better than Shedeur Sanders. Let's just start with that. I don't care about what old best chance to get. Bailey Zappe is a UFL, XFL, NFL Europe quarterback. He is nothing special. He's already been on your roster one time. You had him last year. He wasn't good. At the end of the day, bro, why would you then jettison? All that does is make you look crazy. Listen, do yourself a favor. Get you a PR team or something, bro, because that's not that's going to have people looking at you. Right now, people already looking because I told you, round of applause, I told you earlier, what are y'all doing? Why are you giving Pickett love? Why are you giving him these reps? He's in Las Vegas. Then they gave Flacco the reps. He's in Cincinnati. You could have been starting Dylan Gabriel the whole time, and by the 5th week, you would have known if he was good or not, or what you was going to do. You could have been playing the young dude. Sean King sat up here and told you what he would do. Everybody done said it. Now, you got to a point where you are here. Do not do this to yourself. You are better than this. Don't have yourself looking crazy, because if you put Bailey Zappe and you elevate him off a practice squad, it's going to look like you want anybody but Shedeur Sanders to even see the field. And you don't want to be part of the ABS coalition. Hey, we done already did it with Tyler Huntley. We keep doing it with these other guys. Tyler Huntley going to play this game. And he's somewhere walking around. I don't even know what roster he's on. At the end of the day, Shedeur Sanders should be the number 2 quarterback on the roster. You should be preparing to get him ready to play, as you should have been from Jump Street. And there is no other quarterback, including the conversation. I do find it funny, Dustin. I find it funny that all of a sudden people have dusted off Deshaun Watson.
We're getting to Deshaun next. Don't worry.
We'll get to that, because
He's coming.
That is something that's going to be fascinating. I didn't think we'd ever have that conversation again, but here we are. Here we are. So that question that you asked, Mikey, is how did you word it?
Yeah, that's the key.
How did you word the question?
Who will be?
I think we all agree who should be.
Yeah, I think
will.
Yeah, I both appropriately pointed out that that's the qualifier there. Because when you throw the word will, now you're trying to guess what the Browns are going to do.
Right.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
I mean, Bailey Zappe should be the backup, I think.
Really?
I do. I mean, I think that Shedeur's not ready to play.
Well,
there was when you're the 3rd string quarterback, that means that you are not close to getting in the game. When you're the backup, you got to be prepared like a starter to go in there and play. And come on, you think this guy's ready to play?
Yep.
You're nuts.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Based on what?
I mean, I don't. Well, here's the thing. He's ready to play just as much as Dylan Gabriel, right?
No.
Well, here's the thing. What did Dylan Gabriel show you that makes him light years ahead of Shedeur Sanders?
What did he show me? I mean,
Now,
first off, he played an NFL game and nearly won it on the road in London.
Okay.
Right, but Shedeur hasn't had that
He
opportunity.
hasn't had
No,
the
I understand that, but
you got to project.
I'm also looking at what he did in the preseason and what we've heard from the Browns.
See, that's the big
point.
key. That's the key.
Which we've heard.
And they've only been whispers right now.
But all I'm saying is this: if we've been hearing, this is my problem with the Browns' credibility. If they told us with their credibility that Kenny Pickett was the best.
Are you talking about players or are you talking about management?
I guess I'm just talking about what we've heard in terms of his level of competency to be ready, to understand, to prepare, maturity, all those things. What he did last week with this in the locker room. I mean, that is something that
I don't think
a high school kid does.
Yeah, I don't think it helped his cause.
I look at it like this: if we talking about what we've heard, here's the thing that is the scary part about it. We've heard that Pickett was the best. Then we heard Flacco gave you the best chance. And then we found out both of those things were incorrect, factually incorrect. They've jettisoned both of them. From the get-go, the plan was we're going to have this quarterback competition. They lied about that. That wasn't it. If you were here and they had the level of credibility, right? If I was to believe what they wanted to tell me, then Kenny Pickett still should be here if it was about getting people ready.
Well, don't you think the injury, though, forced their hand?
Not really.
If you're hurt, you can't get on the field.
But guess what?
It changed their plan.
It's a thing called IR. Why would you need to move him? You could have set him on a roster and let his hamstring heal, and then when Joe Flacco was done, you could have put Pickett in, right?
You could have, but per Jason's mantra that this year is about figuring out what we have at quarterback, and I believe that now. I don't want to believe it. I don't like that that's the mantra because that's a white flag loser's mentality. I get it. But it's obviously apparent that is what is going on.
So we are here.
And if you get 5 games into the regular season, and now you're going to see if Kenny
Shedeur Sanders on Sunday, if Dylan Gabriel goes down on Sunday, Shedeur Sanders, if he's the backup, is in the game.
Yeah.
The season's probably already cooked. I don't think they're going to win many games. But in terms of, you will start to get blown out. He's not ready to play.
So if you put Bailey Zappe in the game, Bailey Zappe is not good.
No, he's not good. But you can't just be like, okay, well, let's just put this guy out there and see what happens.
At what point can you, Dustin? Because I kind of agree with what you're saying, but at what point, is it 1-7? Is it 1-10? At what point do you finally turn the page to, we absolutely have to see what we have here? Look, if you check the box that he can't play, then you've accomplished something. But if Bailey Zappe plays all year,
there's a reason they kept him on the active roster.
That's true.
They don't want to lose him, and they want to see if there's something that he has. But you have to be able to prove to the coaches and earn their trust that you can go in there and capably run the offense.
Right, but I'm a little confused as how you're definitively saying he's not ready to play. What are you?
I don't know. Did you watch him in college last year?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
I did.
He's not ready.
I wonder, Dustin, when you say that, I have heard, not firsthand, I've heard from reporters that go in there every day and have off the record conversations with players that they say nowhere near being ready.
Well, I haven't heard that, but that even adds to my thoughts about it, and based off of what I've seen and what I know about the player, and then on top of it, the maturity level, all that stuff, dude.
What came to mind?
You guys want to see him play? Go ahead.
Last week, what came to mind when he went with the miming thing was the comment, "We need an adult in the room," and I feel like I'm not quite sure why. I'm not going to try to dive into his head and say why Shedeur did that, but it's pretty easy to look at the whole situation and see how it was received, not just by those around the league, but by those inside the Browns organization.
Though? Listen. I didn't like what he did, but this has now been made way too big a deal of. Okay? The guy, first of all, I don't know why the Browns are allowing the media to interview
That's
him.
the better point,
honestly.
Bull.
They
put
him
away
in a tough
from the
spot.
media. Why did you talk to the third-string quarterback?
Here's what's happened with the whole Shedeur Sanders
He's supposed to be an adult, though, isn't he? He's a professional athlete.
But, people do immature things sometimes.
It's not a freshman at Ohio State.
He's not the first young NFL player to do something a little immature. He's under the microscope more than any. What's happened is the diehard Shedeur fans are so intense that now what's happened is everybody else is annoyed by that. So they're taking it out on Shedeur Sanders.
I think that's true, Bull.
I'm not taking anything out on the kid.
I
actually think the kid has a chance to be an NFL starting quarterback, but it's going to take some time. And if you want to ruin his opportunity, put him out there right now. He's not
the starter right now.
Well, if he's the backup, he's one play away.
In this offense, that could be
at some point in time. The same way we sit here.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. You think a 5th-round quarterback who clearly has proven to the coaching staff he's not ready to play? This organization has run out 5 different offensive lines for 5 games in a row.
Sure.
Different.
Sure.
And that kid had no offensive line. You saw what he did in college?
Sure. Here's what I'm saying.
I don't want to ruin the kid.
At the end of the day, when you talk about ruining, you got to have an opportunity to prove what you can do. Not on the sidelines, not what the narratives say. The reality of the situation is people are freaking out because he is one step away from playing. At the end of the day, I just saw Joe Flacco play and it wasn't good. At the end of the day, I keep seeing all these other quarterbacks get into the game. And here's the thing. The referendum is not on Shedeur Sanders. The referendum is on your coaching staff. The coach blew a whole game last week. The problem is that we're sitting here talking about Shedeur Sanders and what he said in his immaturity when we should be talking about whether or not your coach is actively able to get quarterbacks ready to play, is his offense ready to go, and can he be competent? It's about competency, not narratives. At the end of the day, we talk about our quarterbacks in 26. I don't know about the coach or the GM, but what I do know, Bull, is at some point in time, I already know what Bailey Zappe is. I am not going to go to people in my locker room and say that a guy we sign off the practice squad is better than a guy that we've drafted. And this is what people are saying. If you wanted Bailey Zappe,
yeah, but I don't think. But that's not what Dustin's saying.
I don't want Bailey Zappe.
No.
I mean, I don't. I think he's any better than Joe Flacco.
Well, here it is. At some point, you got to give the person an opportunity to show what he can do and show and prove.
Right, but
That's
I think there's also a narrative that anybody that says Shedeur's not ready to play is a hater, and that's not the case.
No. I'm looking for the proof. I remember. Listen. We ain't scored no points, right? Shedeur Sanders against the Panthers scored how many points? How many touchdowns did he throw? I saw good accuracy. I saw touch. I saw all of that. I also saw there was a game against the Philadelphia Eagles where Dylan Gabriel made mistakes, and we chalked it up from him being a rookie. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to give Dylan Gabriel grace to make mistakes in games like that and throw a pick six and fumble the football and then give him an opportunity to come back and show himself, you got to at least give Shedeur Sanders the opportunity to prove on the football field that he is either a player or not. And let the merit stand where it's at. If he goes out there and plays terrible, it is what it is. But this thing about we're going to keep moving people ahead so we can just keep pushing backwards is ridiculous.
I agree with a lot of what you're saying.
I personally think that they've been trying to stash Shedeur on the active roster so that he can't be plucked by somebody else, and they're bringing him along slowly. Like
that used to be a real thing in the NFL.
It should be a real thing. It's not. You got a guy that everyone was hyped up to be a first-round pick. You got him in the 5th round. Clearly, he wasn't going to be a first-round pick, and it was all overhyped. We know that. But he's here now.
Yeah.
And he showed some good things. Like physically, he's got some gifts. He can throw a beautiful ball. He looks like an NFL quarterback. But upstairs, what it takes to the guy doesn't. Everyone who covered him coming out of college, who were in those meetings, was like, this dude doesn't know how to do the whiteboard. So you think that guy is ready to play and prepare as a starter?
Here's what I'm saying.
Okay, Garrett. Brother, you can see it. You can see it. You're going to regret it. I promise you that.
You didn't hear me say he should? Did I say he should start today? We talk about the backup role, Dustin. We're not talking about. We didn't say start.
You just said that he should be based on merit, right?
Yeah.
Well, merit would be put him in the game.
No. Merit is, look, if you look and watch from Jump Street, when he got here, he didn't get no reps. No first team reps. That's fine. He's a 5th round pick, remember? So he chilled that out. Dylan Gabriel got reps over him. If you picked him in the 3rd round, we know how the game over. 3rd round, 5th round. Guess what? Whatever. Came back to the playing time when it was Kenny Pickett and Flacco. He was 4th on the depth chart, right? He didn't jump up and down. You know what he did? He went out there and kept working. First dude in practice, last dude in practice, throwing extra to people. Guess what? At the end of the day, he didn't say anything. He started the season 4th on the depth chart. He was still 3rd on the depth chart. What you're saying is bring him along slowly. I don't know how much. Where's the fast track in anything they're doing? They have brought him along slowly. They moved on from Joe Flacco. Now it's like, okay, you got 2 quarterbacks. One's on the pup list with Deshaun Watson. The other person is Bailey Zappe on the practice squad. Now you're telling me that, he can't. It's still too fast to make him the backup quarterback. At the end of the day, they didn't slow walk to this. It's all possible.
I think there's a possibility that the Browns might consider doing something in between that we haven't discussed here. Is they may, and this may not be a terrible idea.
I know where you're going with
make
this.
Bailey Zappe the backup. This way, if Dylan Gabriel does get hurt, you're not throwing Shedeur Sanders in the middle of the game. So, for example,
you get him ready for the whole week.
Right. This way, if Bailey Zappe's the backup this week and Dylan gets hurt, well, Bailey Zappe finishes the game, and then you can decide after that, do we want Shedeur starting the next game?
That is a very reasonable idea.
Yeah, it's very logical.
I think it's a very logical, a very
I don't think they'll do it.
and actually, that's what they should do.
Yeah, because Bull, I agree with you on that.
Because listen, if Gabriel goes down, say he tears his knee up, he's done for the year.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in the middle of that game, you want to put the veteran in.
Sure.
in that spot. Okay, that's I think an unfair situation for a kid who's really,
especially because you're going to change the offense.
Yeah, and then give him a full week to get ready.
Then you have a full week or maybe 2 to get him ready to go.
Sure.
Like maybe Zappe takes 1 start, then you say we're going to try to get him ready for whatever it is, the second week from now.
Right. The one thing that G, I think you made a lot of valid points. The one thing that I would point out, you said it's not a referendum on Shedeur Sanders. It actually is. In the NFL, they don't care if the coach got you ready to play. It was a referendum on Joe Flacco, not the coach, when he couldn't do it. And if Dylan can't do it, it will be a referendum on Dylan Gabriel if he can't do it. And the same with Shedeur Sanders. If he comes in and doesn't do it, now suddenly we can't look at the coach and say, oh, it's all his fault. If the guy that is in the game, you said this a couple of weeks ago, and I agree with you. If you're in the NFL game, if you're in the game, you're going to be judged as you're in the game. That's it, period. So you can't say, well, it can't be Shedeur's fault that he wasn't good. It's got to be the coach's fault because he wasn't prepared. It falls on the player. It's the player's responsibility. He's the only one out there that can make live reads. He's the only one out there that can make live decisions as to where to throw the football.
We know last year,
referendum.
Jay, sorry to cut you off, but we know last year that, really 2 years in a row, that DTR played a couple of times where he was not prepared to play.
Absolutely.
And yet, we know that as covering this team. But if you ask fans that are not Browns fans, like other fans,
they don't care.
They'll be like, "Oh, that guy sucks."
Absolutely.
They're not saying, "Well, the coach didn't have him prepared." Fair or not, doesn't even matter. That's the way it. That's the reality.
That's pro sports.
Even from a logistical standpoint, you got.
No. I was just saying we got Leroy, so 2 minutes.
From a logistical standpoint?
Yeah.
Let's just, if you take the emotion out of it and you just break it down to its lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get somebody ready and he's not the starter and Dylan Gabriel's the starter, what you want Shedeur Sanders to do is the exact same thing Dylan Gabriel had the opportunity to do with Joe Flacco. When he was the backup quarterback, he got to sit in the meetings and understand every single call.
Yes.
He got to go over the checks. He got to understand what it sounds like when Kevin calls the plays, what they're looking for, getting involved in the game plan.
He knows what it's
so he knows what it is. So in order to get that, you actually have to be the backup. And guess what? Dylan Gabriel came in garbage time a few times with Joe Flacco. He threw a touchdown, gained a little confidence. But when you logistically talk about it, that is prepared. We say preparation and we throw it in the air like it's some mythical stat. When you say prepare, it says structure. It says this is the game plan. This is how we want to go about doing things. And when you have that opportunity, that is preparing you.
He is in on all the meetings, though. It's not like he's excluded on any of the meetings.
The third-string quarterback can't listen to the
He can.
Listen, here's what I'm
saying.
It's a difference between you being the third-string quarterback and you going through the walkthroughs and you're the emergency guy, and the difference between you being one play away from playing. Right. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think coaches always take this approach. Like, everybody better prepare like they're one play from being in the game. Yeah. Because even if you're third string, you're 2 plays away from being in the game. So you've got to be prepared. And preparation's on the player. Yeah. I mean, the coaching staff is responsible for getting them ready. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know what the Browns' machinations are on treating the third-string quarterback. I don't know. I'm sure he's in on all the meetings. I'm sure he's in with all the game planning. It's up to him as to how serious he takes it in terms of, hey, I better learn and absorb all this because I'm 2 plays away from being out there.
You know, yesterday on the show we had a DD on, and I said, if let's say Dylan Gabriel plays for the next month and he's okay, but it's nothing really. I said, at some point do you just play Shedeur because the fans want to see him? And
I don't think
maybe
that's the reason to do it.
Maybe just do something for the fans for once because you never do.
No.
Yeah, but Bull, that's a slippery slope.
No.
It's in general.
What was your answer? Like, how did you answer that?
Well, no, she said no. That's not.
Yeah,
that's not good for the team, and I get it in general. But
you play him because he's good. You play him because
you come to the decision
because
that
he can play.
Yeah.
I'm not doing charity.
Not because the media or the fans.
We've gotten to the point where it's a charity speech.
To your point, then, what if Kevin Stifanski truly believes that Shedeur Sanders is not ready to play, then, based on that?
Well, here's what I say all the time. If he don't play him, go ahead. Deal with what comes with that.
I hear you. But I'm asking you, if Kevin Stefanski truly believes that Shedeur Sanders is not ready to play.
He shouldn't
Should
play
he
him
not
if
play?
he thinks he's not ready.
If Kevin Stefanski, here's the way life works. If Kevin Stefanski does not believe that he's not going to play, and he doesn't feel he's ready to play, or does not want him to play, he's the head coach. If he does not do that, he has to live with the consequences of what happens if he doesn't play.
I don't know that there's any consequences.
What consequences if he doesn't play?
I mean, I think
just fans being angry, but fans are angry anyway.
Here's what I'm saying. The consequences of what I'm talking about is, you saw what happened with Joe Flacco. They trotted him out here. He was not good, and people was hot. And at the end of the day, Kevin Stefanski is coaching for his job. Let's not be clear. But
the fans are not deciding
But guess what? Guess who is? The owner is listening to the fans. So guess what? It ain't the fans that'll get you up out of here. Your merits is your merits. If you want to win or lose or who you got on the football field, deal with what happens with that. If you want to win 2-3 games, we'll see if you keep your job at the end of the year.
Well, but if he's decided, right or wrong, if he decided that if we're just basing it on who gives you the best chance to win, and he doesn't think Shedeur Sanders gives him a chance to win, then he shouldn't play.
So, well, guess what? He won't play him. Yeah. And then, as I said, you got to now deal with what you got.
Yeah, we saw this in Pittsburgh a couple of years, and the Steelers they're a well-run organization. They heard the fans on Canada as the offensive coordinator. It was as bad as I've heard a team go after an assistant
coach. Right, but I don't know. I doubt that's why he lost their job.
To their credit, they didn't pivot because of the fans.
Right, yeah.
They ran it out. At the end of the season, they made the change. Yeah. And the thing with the fans here, like, our fan base is squeaky for 30 years. Yeah. Why? Because we lose. Yeah. So the fan base is always going to be squeaky. My fear is if the coaches and the owners start listening to and reacting to fan base, you get what you deserve.
It's generally
you can't run an organization.
We got Leroy in the queue who's dying to chime in this conversation. Before we bring Leroy in, a quick reminder that this Sunday our post-game show is live at Sweet Pork Wilson's. We'll be down there for the entire game between the Browns and the Steelers. If you want some great food, you want to come hang out with me, G, and Earl, head down and hang out with us at Sweet Pork Wilson's. It's right off 117th. Great food, great vibes, and then a live post-game show. First time we're doing it live on remote setting since we launched UCSS, so it should be a blast. Come over, hang with us. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Leroy, you just listened to the last 10 minutes of that conversation. Sorry we couldn't get you in earlier, but what do you make of this whole who should be quarterback 2 debate between Shedeur Sanders and Bailey Zappe and the decision ahead of Kevin Stefanski?
I'm going to tell y'all a story. And this was my rookie year. First of all, there's a rule. If a coach started listening to the fans, he'll be sitting amongst them.
That's
right?
Well said.
So I was playing, and it was my rookie year, so we were terrible. I mean, really, we were bad. Like, all our guys were like 35 years or older. In fact, Ozzie was still playing. Clay Matthews Sr. was still playing. That's how old our team was. They started the league. Their first year in the league, I was 8 years old. Now I'm playing football with them. So that's how old our team was.
God, they had just crazy.
Right. So Bernie was struggling, and my rookie year, Bernie got sacked more times than anybody in the history of the NFL. So there's that, right? We're playing the game. We're not playing very well, and the fans start yelling, "Pay go, pay go, pay go, pay go." So Bud Carson threw Pagel in the game.
Remember that.
Right? Pagel's first pass was a pick 6. You know what the fans did? Bernie, Bernie, Bernie. So you be careful when you talk about what the fans want to win. The fans think they know, based on no information, what they could do to win. And Shedeur Sanders is a nice name. Let me explain something to you. You sitting in the same meeting rooms, right?
Yeah.
Here's the difference. The third string quarterback gets 0 reps at practice.
Right.
So once you've been deemed the third string quarterback, that coach has no idea if you're even ready to play because he's never seen you run one play for that game, call one protection, call one signal, nothing. So if you have to go to your third string quarterback during the course of a game, everybody say your prayers because that coach is just up in the air as the rest of us. That's why being QB2 matters. You get reps during the week. your preparation is different. Now, the one thing that is true, as a professional athlete, your ass better be ready at all times. I don't care what your situation is. Your situation could change tomorrow. So if that situation were to present itself and Shedeur was not ready with the checks or the calls, he might not have the timing down, right? Because that takes reps. But if he doesn't know the calls or the checks or anything like that, shame on him. Because that part of the preparation, you're supposed to be picking up on in that meeting room.
Interesting. What's your take, Leroy? Because the way Mike worded the question was interesting. It's not who should be the Browns' backup. It was who will be the Browns' backup. Because as you know, the Browns use unconventional wisdom all the time. Answer it both ways, though. Who should be and who will be in your view? We're going to find out at noon.
Who? Oh, you're talking about
right now
for this week?
Yeah. What should the depth chart look like?
It depends, because like sometimes when you take a guy like Shedeur and move him to the backup role, it's invigorating. It's like a carrot, right? And you testing that guy to see if he's going to put the work in and be ready to play on a given notice, right?
Yeah.
And that's why you would do that. If you leave him at QB3 and you move somebody else up, you're basically saying that this guy is not here doing what he needs to do to prepare to play quarterback.
Right.
Right? Which is a whole nother level. Now, let me be clear. I'm not the foremost expert on coming in and doing all the professional things as a rookie. So if there's anybody that could sympathize with a guy that was used to being the guy that come in and now you don't even hardly play, I sympathize with him. But it is your job to show everybody on your team and in that coaching staff that you are doing what it takes to be ready to play. Because a lot of times in those situations, sometimes the players speak on your behalf. Right? Sometimes, no, I had Tony Jones come speak on my behalf. Hey, this guy needs to play more. So, like, there's a lot that goes into it than just, well, let's just throw him in. Let's just do this. No, Kevin Stifanski trying to win. It's his job to win. You think if Shedeur was better than Dylan Gabriel, he wouldn't be in there? Nobody ain't going to sabotage their own success.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo.
So the question I'm asking, Leroy, is when you move on from Joe Flacco,
yeah,
at some
I
point,
told y'all this was coming. I told y'all Joe Flacco was a relief pitcher. You can't bring him in to start a game.
At some point, I'm going by what the owner told me. The owner said you're going to see Dylan Gabriel and you're going to see Shedeur Sanders at some point this year. Under no circumstances am I advocating that I never said that the Shedeur Sanders should be running around starting completely today, right? What I'm saying though is if you traded Joe Flacco and you traded Kenny Pickett and you still have Shedeur Sanders on your roster, at some point does that not mean that he's doing things at least to a point where you feel comfortable on moving away from veterans who you've invested in money and assets?
Absolutely. Like, you're not going to make a move unless you think you have the infrastructure in your building to be able to make that move. Right? Now, I think the Joe Flacco thing might have been out of respect for Joe Flacco. We're not going to just have you back up these guys. We're going to see if we can get you out of here and maybe go somewhere to play.
Yep.
Right? And so I don't, believe me when I say this, I don't take a lot out of it. They weren't making a big statement. They might have just been doing a guy who they really respect a solid. That's it.
Were you surprised it was inside the division, though? That surprised me.
Hey.
Flacco stinks. Who cares?
I know, but trades aren't made inside the division.
Hey, let me tell you something. Bless your heart. You think the Browns trading him to Cincinnati, they were sitting in the room going, I don't know if we should trade him to
no, but Cincinnati clearly wanted him, or they wouldn't have called the Browns for him.
Wait, you know what they're saying? Maybe he could do some of the things he did for us for them.
Yeah, throw it to us now for a chance.
Yes, exactly.
I know, but
exactly.
It's still, I don't know. I had a couple of folks that were in management in the NFL yesterday that I reached out to, and they said, "Yeah, we just didn't do that. We had a pretty hard, fast."
Some people have that rule. Some people have that. Wait.
I'm not saying everybody did, but
I got one
worse. Very rare.
Hey,
it's very rare.
Wait a minute. I got one worse for you. Saquon Barkley going from the New York Giants to the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's free agency. Giants couldn't do it.
But
the Giants had nothing to do about that.
The Giants could have signed him.
Yeah,
he wanted to stay there.
Sure, the Giants but it's not like they said here to one of our rivals, here, take him.
You don't remember that the owner came in and talked to the GM and said, I'm gonna be. You sure we should let him go? He's gonna maybe sign in the division.
Yeah.
You don't remember that in season?
No, I do.
Yeah,
but
they still didn't trade
a different circumstance because it's not like they picked up the phone and said, "Here, take our great guy."
No.
He just was free to sign wherever he wanted to, and he signed inside the division. That happens, but look, I think you know what, Leroy? I think it's a fabulous test case, and here's why. When we watched Joe Flacco, we said, "Well, why is he so bad now? Is it because there's no offensive line, or is it because they have no wide receivers?" Well, now he's going to a team that has no offensive line but has receivers. So I'm fascinated to see how he plays there. Because if he balls out and their receivers come to life, it goes to show you that I think receivers would trump offensive line. Having someone to throw the ball to is pretty important. And Cincinnati has a couple of guys.
What you have just said, my friend, is blasphemous.
Why?
A wide receiver is more, but here's the deal. Go look at all the contenders.
I get
What's the starting point?
But if he balls out Cincinnati with a bad offensive line but good receivers, we learned something from that, Leroy.
You know what we learned? Joe Flacco can't run, and you got a group in front of him that can't block. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's the same thing he had here. So that's what I'm saying. He had no success here because he had no receivers and no offensive line. Now he's going to a place that has great receivers and no offensive line. Let's just see how it works out. I'm curious to see what he does there. That's it.
Yeah, no, listen. Joe Flacco is going to play 2 or 3 weeks of the best football you have ever seen. I can't tell you when they're going to come, but you are going to watch this man throw the football because he's got an arm still till this day. Then he's going to do Joe Flacco things. I can't explain it. I like Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
Joe Flacco's fun to watch. That guy had brought more joy at the end of one season for 8 games than we've had in Cleveland in a long time. Since Baker was here. Right?
Yeah.
So, but he just can't do it for a long stretch. And it's been like that for a few years. So, yeah, he may go there and have some success, and I may talk to you in a week or two, and you say, that Joe Flacco threw for 350. I'm like, yes, that's what he does. Jameis Winston is the same way. Those are 2 quarterbacks. They could throw for 400 yards and then throw for 40 and 5 picks the very next week.
By the way, as a Bengals fan, I would rather have them traded for Winston than Flacco personally. But let's talk about the Browns running back here, Leroy, because Quinshon Judkins looks like an absolute stud. Give us your breakdown of him.
Yes. He is, he looks like he looks like what we had in Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You can't get him on the ground. He's explosive. Mm-hmm. As the game goes on, he wears you down. It's exactly what you want from that position. It's unfortunate that the 2 things that every good team needs, you have in a defense and in a running game, and you can't hold it together with the other parts.
Well, that's because you need a quarterback more than those things, Leroy.
But can I tell you what the problem with the NFL is right now?
Hit Yeah.
Everybody thinks they need Patrick Mahomes to win. And so everybody spins their wheels trying to find the next Patrick Mahomes, when in actuality, you probably at some point in time had a guy who was good enough, but it wasn't good enough for you, and you play quarterback games for the next 10 years. You see what I'm saying?
I see exactly
Like,
what you're saying.
you know, for example, look at Baker Mayfield, and I don't know what, and I'm just mentioning it for this reason. Now we're going to say Baker Mayfield was probably the best quarterback the Browns had. Why didn't they recognize that? Right? Because you think you can get better. You don't need a top, listen, and I want everybody to understand what I'm saying. You don't need a top 5 quarterback to win the Super Bowl. Stop it with this.
You need a
It
top 10.
drives me crazy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think
You
once
mean-
upon a time you did, but you don't anymore.
You don't?
You-
When's
you-
the last
if
time
you-
you won
you
without
can
a
go-
top 10 quarterback?
Last year, Jalen Hurts not a
Jalen
top
Hurts is a
10
top 10 quarterback.
Oh, top. He's
Really?
top
Why? Because he won? Because they were trying to run him out of town too.
Well, they're stupid. What can I tell you, Leroy?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
He's the
And the
entire
Browns
team.
tried to. They're like, listen, you need a competent quarterback. A competent quarterback is a quarterback that ain't gonna throw for 300 every week, but every now and then when you need him to make a play, he can make a play.
Most
That's not
quarterbacks
a
don't
top
throw for
10
300 every
quarterback.
week.
That is a competent quarterback.
Yeah, but Leroy, the only team that's won a Super Bowl without a top 10 quarterback in the last 20 years was or last 15 years, whatever, was that 1 year with Nick Foles in Philly, and Nick Foles in that postseason played like a top 10 quarterback. He was amazing the entire postseason.
Well, again,
Yeah.
you're go look at the teams and players to win the quarterbacks to win Super Bowls. At no point in time, there's probably, I'd say it's probably 60-40 and 60 not top 5.
Really? See, I would disagree
Yes.
with that.
In recent
Go
years,
look.
it's
Go
all
look
been
at the
top
list of.
quarterbacks.
Go look at the list of quarterbacks.
Well, if you just go in the last 20, because let's face it, the NFL is cyclical and it's
Yeah.
a much
Well, it
different
was
league today.
right. It was Tom Brady,
Leroy-
Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning.
Yeah, so they took up a lot of them.
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger.
But the interesting thing about it, I think that in general, Bull is right, but I do think that things are shifting. Patrick Mahomes threw a pick 6 and lost to Jacksonville. You know, I mean, I do think that they were chasing Patrick Mahomes, but I just think the NFL is built differently now. Look at this. Look at the throw charts. Look at where the passes are going now. Even Mahomes, he's not throwing the ball 20 yards down the field. Everybody's
Right.
throwing the ball at or near the line of scrimmage.
It's still
You know
most
why?
important to have the good quarterback.
Because it's a premium. There's a premium on offensive linemen right now. Everybody is feeling it throughout the
We're
league.
feeling
If you
it,
have
yeah.
a solid offensive line, then you have time to do all that stuff. The problem that Cincinnati is going to have is they're going to have another Andrew Luck situation if they keep going at this pace, where he just get
With
beat
Joe
up so
Burrow,
much
yeah.
he's like, I'm
And
done.
he's not going to retire.
No, he just means
That's
he's
what he
just
said
gonna
about
keep
Andrew
getting
Luck.
beaten into oblivion. You know.
All right.
Leroy, we could argue about whether or not you need a good quarterback or how you want to get him. But the question I have is, what is your level of faith that the Browns can identify that quarterback?
Here's what I think. I think sometimes it's better to accept above average and not look for great and build it around that person. For
Or even
example,
competent.
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
I
what
agree
I'm
with
saying.
that.
In that, you swung and missed with Deshaun Watson. And it not only cost you Baker Mayfield, but it cost you 5 first-round picks. Wow. And I would say, was Deshaun Watson that much better than Baker that you could give up 5 first-round picks?
We now
He
know
wasn't
the
at the
answer.
time.
Don't you start on this,
At the
Leroy.
time,
we
he was,
running
Leroy.
out of time.
Wait,
And you gonna throw that up for Jay. You know
wait.
he about to go crazy.
I don't need to argue
Hey.
with that. Just look at the numbers.
Let
easy.
Can I throw a caveat in there?
Yeah.
Can I throw a caveat in that? also understanding that you're not going to have him for the first year.
Right. Yeah, because you kind of knew that.
Right. So it'd have been different if you had picked up a quarterback and gave up all those picks and he's in camp and going right away.
Yeah. Right? What you're saying, Leroy, and we got to go, but what you're saying is one of my favorite statements. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. It's sometimes in your hunt.
The hell does that mean?
Parse it out. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. You've never heard that saying?
Yes,
what it means is the Browns were looking for the Holy Grail. They had good. And they said good wasn't good enough. We want perfect.
He wasn't
we want
good enough at the time.
So now Baker's a top 5.
He was also hurt.
Revisionist history.
I know, but this is facts, and you can argue all you want. This is facts. They let perfect be the enemy of good. They were searching for perfect. They went for Deshaun Watson. They're paying Deshaun Watson $230 million for this. Baker is now a top 5. And that's just facts. So
that was not all facts.
Don't
there was
let
a lot of
perfect
facts.
be the enemy of good.
Baker wasn't good. Baker wasn't good enough.
Took him to the playoffs.
He was also hurt.
He wasn't
good enough for what?
Right. You're right.
Bro, let me say this.
Yeah.
Wasn't good enough for what? He was a guy, he had his struggles. He was hurt the last year. But before that, he was also a guy that when you need him to make a play, he can make a play.
And
he didn't do it all the time.
That's not true.
He didn't do it all the time.
In mostly every big spot with the Browns, he threw picks. He had the worst turnover ratio of any quarterback in the league through that point. Obviously, since then, he's just gotten better and better to the point now.
Oh, that's what development. That's what development is.
He's not a top 5 quarterback, but he's still really good. He's a top 10 quarterback. He's done great. I can't kill him. I've gone from hating Baker to where I'm actually rooting for him now, believe it or not. He's a top 10 quarterback, no doubt about it. But we can't have revisionist history. At the time of the trade, Deshaun Watson was a much better quarterback than Baker Mayfield.
And that was an opinion. And now we have the hay in the barn.
It
was an opinion.
It was the majority opinion.
It was. You're right. I'll give you that. But it was the wrong opinion.
Here's what happened.
Because it was he had been better
at the trade. He's been better than Baker.
I didn't say that.
Okay, so it's been proven to be false.
I told you.
I said at the time he was better. That was definitely true.
And that at the opinion, the majority opinion at the time was what you said.
Yeah.
But
you gave an opinion too, and you just said it was fact. You said Baker was good. That's an opinion.
Took him to the playoffs.
It's an opinion, Jay.
Yes,
is it not?
It is.
Okay, you called it
and
fact.
Your opinion that he wasn't good, I can corroborate mine with he took a team that hadn't gone to the playoffs in years to the playoffs.
So did Tyrod Taylor. Is he good? Tyrod
was turning.
Tyrod Taylor did the same thing in Buffalo. Was he good?
At that time, yes, he was.
No, he wasn't. He sucked.
Competent quarterback. He took a team to the playoffs.
You can't win a Super Bowl. You can't win a Super Bowl with Tyrod Taylor, and you couldn't win a Super Bowl with that Baker Mayfield. You probably can now. We'll see. Let's see if he does anything in the playoffs. He's a much different guy. He's a way better player than he was then. Let's not pretend he was this player then.
You are at 28, from 23 to you're a different person.
Leroy's got to the last point, then we're going to move on.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. At what point in all of this do you just dismiss development as a person, as a quarterback, or whatever? Right? Like, a lot of these young kids come into the league, and I was no different. And you have to learn how to be a professional. You have to learn how to handle. You have the skill set, but you have to learn. And right now, fans, teams don't have the patience to go through that. Is that the player's fault? Is that Baker Mayfield's fault that, a lot of this stuff he's learning on the fly? Like, what, going from college to the NFL, right? Nobody really knows what the development period is. It's different for everybody. But we cut bait after a couple of years, say the guy's a bum.
I don't think nobody said he was a bum, Leroy. We just thought at the time, and it made a lot of sense at the time, that Deshaun Watson was better. Yeah. At the time, did you realize? What did you think Deshaun was better than Baker at the time?
Here's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't play the year before.
That's fair. Yeah.
He was gonna miss a whole bunch of time the next year, where you're gonna be paying him part of that $230 million. Was that investment with a guy who hadn't played football in almost 2 years? Was it that much better than Baker Mayfield?
At the time, I and many others thought yes. So obviously, it wasn't.
I can't think of a person that is playing at a high level at that position that wasn't even around football for 2 years.
Well, we didn't know it was going to be 2 years, and it wasn't completely 2 years.
I can think of one guy, Randall Cunningham, when he came to Minnesota.
Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but listen, he was athletic.
Yeah, but he had some great.
Watson was also really young too. Listen, we didn't know he was going to be suspended 11 games.
We're wasting time because there's too many.
All right, Leroy.
Opinions.
You guys are going to have Metcalf on. Can I tell you a quick Metcalf story?
Yes. Quickly.
You'll laugh at
Mike's
it.
going to have a coronet.
So
here.
me and Metcalf lived right next to each other. Our condos were adjoining. And every morning, Mr. Cool Eric Metcalf would open up his garage door with the clicker, remote start his car, let it get all warm while he's taking a shower. And I could hear all this going on. And I'm like, he is just so damn cool. So one morning, he opened up the garage. I heard the car start. I went and crawled in his back seat.
Dang.
And he got in the car and backed up, and I went, ah!
Oh, my God.
That's your biggest fear.
Oh, that is my biggest fear.
Adam talk about this all the time. He still checks the backseat of his car.
I do.
Do you really?
He does.
Ask him about it.
Oh, my God. You must have scared the crap out of
Can you
him.
imagine if someone like
He didn't look. He even got scared. Cool. He went.
We will absolutely ask him about it because I can't wait to hear his version of it. Leroy, take care, man. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Leroy.
Okay.
Thanks, Leroy.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, we got to get to our next topic. Before we do, we got a quick word from Peloton. So we're going to head it over to Corey to tell us about what Peloton has to offer. Corey?
I'm Cody Rourke from Locked On Broncos, and this episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most advanced equipment yet, giving you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or you're cross-training with your favorite instructors like Alex Toussaint. It's training reimagined to make your workout more personal. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with features that help you plan, stay motivated, and hit peak performance. You can let yourself run, lift, flex, and go while Peloton handles all the rest. Plus, Peloton IQ provides real-time strength coaching, tracking your progress and suggesting weights that challenge you so you can get stronger. Plus, the new movement tracking camera, it counts your reps and corrects your form in real time, making sure every rep is safer and smarter. So, let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
All right, guys, that was Cody. Let's get to our next topic. Kevin Stefanski's talking in about 10 minutes, so we'll break in and react to whatever Kevin Stefanski says in a sec. But one thing we didn't get to earlier, because we were going back and forth on the QB2 topic, is something Jay and I talked about in the gym yesterday. When we heard the news of the Flacco trade, our first thought was, what does this mean for Deshaun Watson? And Jay, I'll let you start on this one. Do you think the Flacco trade indicates anything regarding Deshaun Watson's immediate future with the Browns, or are these two totally separate situations?
So after you and I talked about it, I was thinking more about it yesterday. And here's the mistake, silly me, I make all the time. I try to apply rational decision-making to the Browns. And they are completely devoid of rational decision-making. And here's what I'll give you this example. The owner publicly came out and said the Deshaun Watson move was a mistake. Am I right? Mm-hmm. You would think okay, that's it. He'll never play for the Browns ever again. The owner publicly said, I made a mistake when I traded for you. And now we're in a situation where you talk about heartbeats away or plays away. We're led to believe that he is ready to go, aren't we? With the videos that are being circulated, we're led to believe look at him. He's moving on the ankle. Everything looks good. He's throwing the ball with zip. Here we go. Deshaun Watson time, part 3. In a normal world, there's not a chance, even though they have to pay him $230 million, that this guy would ever suit up or play for an owner who said publicly, yeah, it was a mistake. But we live in a clown world.
Big but.
We live in a clown world where normal is abnormal, and abnormal becomes normal.
Well, I mean,
so will he play again? I wouldn't bet against it. Jimmy might even show up at the news conference and put his arm around him and say, I love me some 4. Deshaun Watson, he's back in the fold. Who knows?
Dude, you know that would and could 1,000% happen. I mean, you say clown world, whatever. I mean, I think it's a clown organization, and it has been.
Well, they've proven that.
For a long time, which is why this is not a crazy topic.
No.
It's not. Mm-mm. I talked to Zach Jackson today on the drive-in, and I was like, Zach, dude, bro, is there any chance that Deshaun could play? He's like, I would have said you're crazy, a couple months ago. But with this organization, with everything, it's like it could be on the table. He's been in meetings. He's at the facility. I'm not sure if he's going to the games or whatnot. He traveled, I think, with the team at the preseason games, didn't he? I believe.
I'm not sure.
I mean, he's around. I mean, if all of a sudden they have to at some point put him on the active roster, guys.
They do. Yeah.
Do they have to?
I think they do.
Yes.
I think per the union agreement, if he is deemed healthy,
he's got to go on the active roster.
Then he has to be activated.
Yeah, you can't leave him on the PUP all season.
No, you cannot.
According to the schedule, they had up to 5 weeks to open up his window. Then it's another 3 weeks in the window to activate
already.
him as a player. Yes.
I would not be surprised, guys.
If they don't activate him, he would go to the injured list.
If they don't,
they could put him on the injured list.
Not if he's not injured.
If he's not injured.
Not injured.
See, that's where the union would step in and say, whoa, you can't.
Well, they'd have to negotiate that with him. I mean,
I don't think that's even individual negotiation.
No,
I think the union would supersede.
I mean, they could lie about it.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think they
I think I tore it again.
I could think it could be fraud.
Yeah, I don't know, Bull. My understanding of it is, I should have reached out to Robert Smith and asked him this question. My understanding of it is, once the player is deemed healthy.
No, I understand. I'm just saying they could. If he's
Could
willing to play along, they could fudge.
I imagine you're right, but do you think he'd be willing to play along?
He wants to play in the NFL.
He wants to prove that he's not washed.
See, this is now. You listen. You call
only in Cleveland, by the way.
I'm big. You listen. I'm big circus. I love the 3-ring circus. I like the big top hats, bro. I Shriner circus. Yeah, bro. So listen.
You like freak shows?
Yeah. Once upon a time.
Athens, Ohio.
Yeah. See, this is why we get people in trouble. But listen, when they elevate him and they got to put him at the 3, you know what this gonna look like? See, you're gonna have to choose. I never thought I would ever get this off again. Remember, I said, y'all remind me all the time.
Bailey Zappe would then be gone.
The 45. This is the 4,500 club. Remember, G. Bush? I said that, and it didn't happen, and y'all get on me all the time. But now you gonna have to choose. I bet you want Shedeur Sanders at quarterback too now. I bet you.
I don't know I would.
Okay, well there you go. Put him right on back. Either here's what's gonna happen. It's either or. Which one? Now it's a race to see which one is more unattainable at this point. If
he's ready to play, why haven't they opened his window to come back?
I don't think he's ready yet. I think he's close.
Oh, it's
and that's just reading between the teams.
And this is why I keep saying this. Y'all didn't understand what I was saying. Like, okay, like I'm just sitting back looking at it because here's the reality of the situation. When you are, especially if they're still losing games, if Deshaun Watson comes back into the mix and he is eligible to even play, and you still losing games, you got to understand what the media response is going to look like. The first thing that they want to do and say is the Cleveland Browns are a dumpster fire. And the last thing you need besides your name is you done won 3 or 4 games out of 30, and you got a quarterback competition that flamed out. You done moved 6-7 quarterbacks in, and now Deshaun Watson is back in the mix. You will not survive that. And you just can't. It won't bull.
What if Deshaun Watson comes out and plays like Deshaun Watson in Houston?
Hold on. There are people in this city that, listen, people have swore that they would never watch this is the same people.
They did that when we traded for them.
You got to go back in time.
They watch.
Hold on. We go back in time. The stadium in unison booed him when he got injured.
I remember. It was sickening too. By the way.
Well, I got to say, if he comes out there and can score more than 17 points, they'll be cheering.
Absolutely right.
Hey, D, they be throwing the fours up like this. This is,
it's
we don't
reality,
care.
guys. We've witnessed some really bad football for
if
the last
a Martian
X
can
amount
land
of-
on the planet Earth tomorrow and win games for the Browns,
Yeah.
he'll be
Shaq,
my favorite Martian.
Everybody
will love him.
This is about to be riveting. This is
I'm
guiding
here for
lights.
Yeah,
this is young. This is bold and the beautiful.
Man.
Any other team, I would say, there's
Young
no
and the
chance
Restless
he's going to play. But with the Browns, you never know.
Yeah.
I think it's an extreme long shot that he's ever going to play. But if they have enough injuries,
and what if he looks good in practice?
yeah.
Hey, can I get a poll?
Third-string quarterback.
Can I get a poll?
I mean, he's going to throw the ball.
I would like them
He's
to
going to
see.
run scout team.
All right.
What if he's tearing up on scout team?
I want to see, and I want to run a poll. Which one of y'all would you want to see as backup quarterback? Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders?
It's, I mean, you know the answer here. There's not even gonna be close. It's gonna be Shedeur 95-5.
Oh, if you ask of course. If you ask
I did see this. This was very funny. Steve, take tag board here full. Our friends from Spotrac updated the Browns 2025 quarterback cap hits this season.
Crazy, isn't it?
If you guys haven't seen this, Deshaun's at $35.9 million, who's currently on the pup. You have Jameis Winston for $2.2 million of dead cap because he's no longer on the team. You have Gabriel $1.1 million active.
8,000?
Flacco, $999,000 dead money now. Sanders, $955,000 active. You have Bailey Zappe, $315 on the practice squad. DTR still cost them $171,000 in dead cap. And Kenny Pickett, in the most miraculous number of all of these, just 8,000. Feels like a random number thrown out there.
It does. But you know what's funny about that? This is the organization that once had 6 head coaches on payroll.
They can't. Look, can we?
So I mean,
Now those guys aren't all getting paid, actually paid money.
no, but it's cap
counting towards the cap.
I mean,
So-
that sums up the Cleveland Browns over the last
that
30
and the
years.
fact that they would have 6 head coaches on payroll at one time.
Can we at least say this? At least give
Please
me this.
step away, Jimmy.
Can we at least give me this? This narrative that the Cleveland Browns have some masterful plan is ridiculous and propaganda at the highest level. There is no plan.
No, they're making
They
up as
are
they go
throwing
along.
stuff at the board to see if it sticks because, by the way, none of it makes sense. Everything you told us from the beginning does not make sense.
No.
Well, they may have a plan, but it's certainly not working.
Well, their plan is they're building the airplane while it's in the sky.
I mean,
They don't know. There's no
man, come on, man.
overarching. So we're going to bring in this.
No,
we're going to do that,
no.
and then
I
we're going
think
to.
there was.
They're
It
like,
just does not work.
No, we're not going to give him that. You can't be that bad to have you. At least one of the things, listen, you got to understand, they spent a 5th round pick on Pickett, then jettisoned them for a 5th round pick. Like, it's a break
They love
even.
5th round picks.
You got
covet them.
They
They love a
covet
good
5th
fifth
round
round
pick.
Covet them.
Yeah.
Covet. Yo, if you wanted stability as your backup quarterback, you had it. It was Joe Flacco sitting there. And then they got rid of that.
yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's what Mike Tyson famously said: everyone has a plan until they got punched in the mouth. The Browns got punched in the mouth when Deshaun Watson was awful, and whatever their long range plan was suddenly got ripped up, and now they're trying to patchwork something together. Let's bring in Flacco. Let's bring in this one and that one
I
and
think
this one.
there's part of the Browns were like, I mean, because Flacco, what Gabriel did on Sunday was as good as Flacco can do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Probably,
I
probably
think
better.
It's a product of the offense.
Probably better than Flacco can do at this point. At least he's mobile.
That's it.
Right.
I would give you that.
So with that being said, assuming Dylan's healthy enough to play, like Joe's never going to play for the Browns again.
No.
But I mean, is it possible that the Browns kind of did Joe a solid? Like, you're going to go start in Cincinnati?
I totally
Like, if
agree with
he wants to start.
Leroy on that.
Like,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, I
Does
think that.
Stefanski look bad if Joe plays well for Cincinnati? I don't think it's going to happen, but do you think he looks bad?
Well, that's a topic for another day
Yeah.
if it
Well,
happens.
on that
but
point,
I don't know that he will.
I had
mean,
said yesterday on Channel 3, and I don't know why they didn't do this.
Yeah.
Why weren't there escalators in the trade? Like, if he throws for 2,300 yards, 5th becomes a 4th. If he takes you to the playoffs, 5th becomes a 3rd. I was
Yeah, I guess
shocked.
you
It was
could've
just
done that.
that's why I do think it was just them doing Joe a solid. We're not using him.
Yeah.
We're done with him. Let's give him a life.
Surprise last season
And
playing.
because all they did was went from a 6th to a 5th. Like,
Well,
it's
but
not changing anybody's life.
Probably not, but I think the 6th they traded is the Lions 6th. So
it's a low.
And the Bengals' fifth could end
It
up
would have
being
almost been a seventh then.
You know, so that's a jump in.
It's like a priority free agent, man.
I mean,
Yeah, but I think the Bengals are going to end up closer to the bottom than the top.
that's what I'm saying. So it's going to be. I meant the high fifth round. pick. So it's a pretty big drop.
Burrow will not come back and play, will he?
Guys, we got some.
He could come back in December.
Yeah, he could.
Mikey's got news, guys.
Guys, we got some information we got to get to. We're going to get to that after a reminder that FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if that $5 bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So are you ready to play? If you are, download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet. We don't often get to react to news live on this show because Kevin Stefanski talks before. But Kevin Stefanski was asked about the Joe Flacco trade and the quarterback 2 situation. I'm going to read you 2 separate tweets from 2 separate beat reporters, and you could interpret this however you want. First, from Zach Jackson. I'll read you the entire tweet from Zach. Stefanski on the Flacco trade took us by surprise. They called us. Happened very fast. On this weekend's quarterback 2, quote, still working through all roster type things with young players. I'm always mindful of their development. Let the week play out and make a decision later on. Mary Kay tweeted, Kevin Stefanski will wait until later this week to decide if Shedeur Sanders will be the quarterback #2 against Pittsburgh.
Now let's kick the can down the road, and then if he ends up being #2 and ends up playing, we'll have the whole narrative that we had with DTR about he had no time to get ready. You make the decision today. Well, if he's #2, he at least gets a fair shake to prepare all week as #2.
It's hard to give the Browns any benefit of the doubt, so I don't know that I can. However, it's possible he has already told those guys who the backup is. He just doesn't want to tell the media.
Okay. Well, so
which is silly.
It's silly.
But I guess it's possible.
No transparency with the organization.
What benefit, Bull, to that point, what benefit does it give the Browns from a competitive standpoint to hide the backup quarterback who will not play unless something happens?
He just doesn't like giving straight answers.
No, he doesn't. He never does.
I mean, why would you wait? That doesn't make any sense.
I figured he was going to kick the can down the road on this.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it does not. I don't get it.
It just doesn't help him. Like, listen.
He sounds like an idiot.
He doesn't help himself out. Help yourself out, Kev, bro. Like, stand on your business. If you're going to say he either going to be the backup quarterback or he ain't, like, just stand on it, right? So it gives people an opportunity in your locker room to rally around, do what you need to do, and get ready. Like, you don't, it does you no good to be up here talking in riddles when, look, bro, people, that's human nature is, I will follow you as long as you got something concise that I know that your word is your word. I'm going to roll with you, what you going to do.
I've become a big fan of
Dan
Campbell for that very reason. Dan Campbell, he just calls it what it is.
Jay, one sec. I want to read one more. This is a quote from Mary Kay, or quoting Mary Kay from Kevin Stefanski's press conference. Kevin Stefanski says he has to do what's best for the players as well as the teams. They've said numerous times they're trying to develop Shedeur Sanders intentionally. Take that however you want.
That told us nothing new, Mike. I mean,
because he said that before.
The messenger.
Reading between the lines, Bailey Zappe sounds like he's going to be the backup quarterback.
Yeah, I would say the same thing because in 2 different quotes, he specifically went out of his way to say, I'm very mindful of how we develop young players. Yep. That means he's priming the well to announce Shedeur as the #3. And that quote, too. You're right. He's leading us to the water, and we can drink it.
I mean, unless we're just misinterpreting what he's saying.
Right.
That's the way it sounds to me.
But you know what? If that's your decision, stand on it. Like you said, come out and say, look, I know people are clamoring to see Shedeur. There's time for that. The time isn't now. We're going to keep him at #3. We're paying a great deal of attention to how we're developing him. It would be unfair to him and his teammates to put him out there if we don't think he's ready. So hold your horses on it. It's coming, but not today. But no, instead he's speaking in code.
Now, in fairness, if he said that, every single Shedeur Sanders fan would still be
No, listen.
Yes, but who cares?
No, listen.
Well, he cares. You're telling him to say, I know people want to play.
No, I'm just asking him. I'm asking him to be Listen, we talk about this leadership and maturity stuff. Now, we just talked about Shedeur Sanders and things he do that's immature and blah, 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 and he needs to do this. Man, listen, Kevin Stefanski, you're the head coach. You've been here 6 years. Call what you gonna call. You said if you want Bailey Zappe to be the backup quarterback, say, listen, we got a plan. I'm gonna stick to the plan. I want Bailey Zappe to be the quarterback because X, Y, and Z, and this is what we're going to do moving forward in terms of Shedeur Sanders. But the problem is, when you are lukewarm, you wishy-washy, and you don't have a strong message, what that does, it does not give your team a good feeling about what you're doing.
I'll agree with that.
And so now you open yourself up for criticism when you don't need it. You just don't. And now this week, the conversation will be, well, what's going to happen? Is he giving Shedeur audition, or is Bailey Zappe ready? Is he going to be getting reps? This is the problem I had to start with, Bull. He didn't even have to come out and say 4-quarterback competition. Right. He could have just said, we got 2 young guys, we're going to develop them. We would have never been here. But guess what? This is what they do. This is how they move.
It's frustrating. I don't think he cares what we think. I don't think he cares what the fans think.
No, he doesn't.
But for us, it's frustrating. For the fans, it's frustrating. You want to have some answers. You want to know what's going on. And when you don't get it's not like if you admit who the backup quarterback is, there's some sort of disadvantage for, against your opponent. Like, I could understand if on some level, the gamesmanship of not announcing a starting quarterback, but to not announce the backup, there's no gamesmanship there, right? I mean, what is the point?
No, because do you think Pittsburgh is sitting there going, we need to know, is the backup going to be Shedeur, or how are we supposed to prepare for this game if we don't know who the backup? Right. They don't care. They don't care.
It's crazy. And let me just get this out here. In my opinion, listen, either way, Shedeur is going to play this year, right?
I think we all agree on that.
Whatever week it's going to be, it don't pay me no matter of mine. I don't care if it's tomorrow, next week, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, I'm speaking towards a larger, bigger picture. When you got situations and when you've been hearing about your coaching staff, and this is the evaluation we get, and DTR twice says he didn't know he was playing, and we go crazy about it, it's like, then you come back in this situation, it's about learning from your mistakes, Jay. Like, hey, listen, we were terrible with messaging with other quarterbacks. We didn't know what was going on. Remember the situation where they kept putting Deshaun Watson, it was his shoulder, we gonna put him out this week, is he gonna be practicing?
Right, we didn't know.
And it's like, dude, just stand on your business and live with it. I want to follow a person that's a man and just stand on what their business is. And if I can agree with it, if I can't, I can't.
There are situations where you're saying you don't know and you really don't know.
Sure, right?
I don't know. It's a game time decision. We're going to wait and see. But in that situation, if it's a game time decision, the way I've always lived my life is I always prepare for the worst. I'm always for what's the worst case scenario? When I make decisions, okay, this could happen or this could happen. What's the worst thing that could happen? You prepare for the worst. And if it doesn't happen, you're over prepared. But when you roll DTR out on a week when we all knew that Deshaun was moment by moment,
right,
and then you tell him 45 before the game that it's you, that's on you. I mean, you got to prepare for him that you're not going to have him. That way, if you have him, it's a pleasant surprise. But if you don't, and you've known all week there's a chance he won't be ready, he's ready for it. So that's the only time a coach could actually really say, we don't know.
And I'm sure, there's other teams where these things happen, but when you lose as often as the Browns and you screw up as often as the Browns, you're not going to get any grace there.
Yeah, no benefit of the doubt.
Bill Belichick could say nothing, but the fans don't care because he wins.
Yeah, except
he doesn't win anymore, but
he's lost that benefit of the doubt in North Carolina.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll find out Sunday at 12:30.
The whole thing's just crazy. And it's just another example of why it's hard to trust anybody in this organization, including Kevin Stefanski. It feels like they're lacking leadership on this team.
Feels?
Well, I mean,
the proof is in the pudding.
There's no leadership on players and coaches, nothing.
I want all you guys to respond to this. Can we put up the very first quote panel from Stefanski today? I wanted you to respond to the idea that Kevin basically, this is the way I'm hearing it, and sometimes tonation has an impact on what the coach's intent was.
Yeah.
But when I read
the Zach Jackson one,
we were surprised it all happened so fast.
Oh, yeah, that part.
I want to get your guys' reaction to that. I have a reaction to it, but I'm curious to see what you guys say.
I think when he's saying it took us by surprise, he's just saying that
I think they're just
Bengals
shocked
just
that anybody called
him,
for Joe
frankly.
Flacco.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's the way you see it?
Yeah, well,
I
what
do.
are you
They took us
taking
by
it as?
surprise. Like the Bengals called up and said, "Hey, we want a guy that you're not going to play."
Yeah. And the Bengals don't make a lot of trades either. It's
Browns
weird.
are like, "Yes, thank you."
I
Like,
think
for sure.
I didn't watch much of the Bengals Sunday, but I saw the highlights, and I thought, man, if Cincinnati isn't burning up the phones today to get a veteran quarterback in there, they're crazy.
The funny thing is, Browning played so well 2 years ago when Burrow
I know
got
he
hurt.
did.
I don't
he
know
was
what
awesome.
happened.
And now he looks like an absolute dumpster
But
fire.
I don't know. But Flacco looks so terrible too. I don't know why they didn't go after Jameis Winston or somebody that
Jameis would have been, I think, a
he's
better
a lot
option.
younger. Right?
Now hold on now.
Maybe the Giants
I would've
just
taken
said
Russell
no
Wilson.
because
Now,
the
hold
Giants
on.
quarterback situation right now is kind of crazy too.
So I want to get people on the right now. If he go now, you saying Flacco not that good, right? But if Flacco go out there and put some, if he look good, bull, what are we taking from that?
That's an indictment.
Well,
Stefanski,
it's
in
what
my
I was
mind.
trying to get Leroy to answer, but he said my comment was blasphemous. My point in the whole question to Leroy is, will we learn something if he has success in Cincy but not in Cleveland? To me, I know the offensive line is the key. No one preaches that more than me. The game is won at the point of impact. It's won at the line of scrimmage.
But both teams have bad offensive
But
lines.
both teams have bad offensive lines.
And the Bengals have better receivers.
So if he goes out and balls out with Cincinnati, what it tells me is you can have a couple of really good receivers and it can overcome a bad offensive line.
Yeah.
Especially in today's game where it's drop, throw.
And,
Drop, throw.
And the one thing that the Bengals, because I actually think the Browns' offensive line is a little better than the Bengals.
You do?
Yeah, the Bengals' offensive line, which I thought would be improved this year, it really isn't. But the one spot where the Bengals are a lot better than the Browns is at left tackle. That's the one position, and that's Flacco's blind side. So maybe
what I'm going to see, I'm anxious to look at the style of play.
That's the football too.
he does, and
that's critical.
We've
got
got
nobody
receivers.
to throw the football to that plays wide receiver.
You got receivers.
We got tight ends.
If I want to look at the style of play, I want to see
what they do.
I want to see if Joe Flacco is starting to just throwing the ball over the middle 15 to 25 yards in coverage, I'm going to say, well, what the heck? Like, what?
That's an indictment on Stifanski.
Like, he was checked down Charlie this year, right, for us. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's night and day because they do have T. Higgins and they do have Jamar Chase and they do have Brown and they got.
So their guys will get separation and they'll be open.
They got some things, right? But we go back to, here's the thing, and I always talk about that, right? The way earlier in the conversation we talk about backup quarterback with the quarterback number 2. Me and Dustin both played football, right? Right? Dustin played at a higher level than I did, right? But at least Dustin could sit here and articulate why he feels like I'm not going to put Shedeur Sanders in a football game, right? And we may disagree with that, right? But at least he is able to stand on his rationale and say, this is why I'm moving that way. And even if I disagree with him, at least you can come to some sort of conversation and I can see eye to eye because I believe there's rationale and conviction behind what he's saying is why he's not doing it. The point I'm making here is, like, players will understand what you if you got some conviction and you at least can explain what it is that you feel. We might not agree all the time, but at least he's standing on it. And it's a blind spot for this organization because I feel that they can get more out. If you want to see what preparation is and you want to get the best out of the rest of the guys around you, then tell them. Let them be guys that can be advocates for you. Let them buy into what you're saying and put it on them a little bit. But if you vague, can you imagine? You're going into Pittsburgh. Ain't nothing about Pittsburgh wishy-washy. They're going to try to come in there and break they foot off, you know where. They about to play, they not playing with y'all. So what you need to do, you need to get people together. The last thing you don't want is people in the locker room and the defensive end whispering to each other, I don't know what the heck they got. They got Zappe playing. You know what happened the last time with Baker? They didn't even block TJ Watt. Remember on Sunday night? They left him out there to die. All that type of stuff that goes into your buy-in. And so for me, if Kevin Stefanski would just do a better job of saying, hey, I'm coaching the way I want to do it and I'm going to move this way, at least you could disagree with him. But people at least couldn't say that you didn't stand on business. I think there's an opportunity to do that. We'll see what he does on Sunday.
I wonder if he's going to even announce it at all until Sunday.
He'll have to.
They'd have to.
Yeah, before kickoff, we'll have to know.
You'd have to elevate him from the practice squad by Saturday.
I think it is Saturday 5, something like that. Saturday
that,
evening. I always feel like is when we get that news.
Yeah.
So we'll know if they don't elevate him by Saturday, but we'll see if. I wouldn't be surprised if they announce something tomorrow or the next day. The players aren't in on Tuesday, right?
No.
No, players are not in Tuesday.
Isn't it possible? Was Stefanski speaking before they practiced, Mike, or after?
It's before practice, but after meetings. So
I guess it's possible he hadn't had a chance to sit down with Sanders yet. Maybe.
No, I'm not buying that.
He could have pulled him inside and said, "Listen, I'm going to go tell the media. Well, I just want to tell you first." Because he would absolutely tell Shedeur before he tells us.
Shedeur did an interview at a car station yesterday. I think Fox 8 had him one-on-one.
At a what station?
It was a car
at a car shop.
Oh.
And they asked him about the Flacco trade and what his role is. And, I mean, it's not like Stefanski couldn't have called him on Tuesday even after that and said, hey, Shedeur, it's your time. Or Bailey, it's your time.
Right.
Maybe they wanted
I didn't see that interview. What did he say? Anything of note?
No. I mean, he just said Flacco was a great man. It was like he gave a good answer. It wasn't anything.
Right.
Nope. I mean, it wasn't noteworthy, which is good.
Seen it.
Yeah.
It is possible that they wanted to think about it for a few hours before they made the decision. I mean, that is possible. Now they should know by today. But I'm saying they maybe. I know I'm grasping at straws.
Yeah.
By the way, I heard in Deion Sanders' press conference yesterday.
I heard that.
They asked him about the Flacco trade, and he was like, "I don't care."
I don't give a
but
damn
I do love
about
me some Shedeur Sanders.
I don't give a damn about the Browns,
like
but I do love me some Shedeur Sanders. Which you would hope your dad would say.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got about 5 minutes before Eric Metcalf joins us. So you want to talk Cavs for 2 minutes?
Yeah.
We did have a preseason game. Before we do that, a reminder that this weekend, live post-game show at Sweet Pork Wilson. So make sure you guys come out, hang out with us. It's going to be good food, going to be good times. Hopefully it's a win for the Cleveland Browns. Win or lose, though, we will have our post-game show live on site at Sweet Pork Wilson's. Come hang with us. Hope to see you guys there.
Where is that location for those people that don't know?
It's right off 117th in Madison.
Okay.
On Madison.
Right by my old crib, man. It's old stomping grounds, man.
On the east side of 117th, just into the board through the border.
Yeah, it's across from the RTA station over there.
And we encourage people to show up, right? That's the whole
Please,
idea.
come hang. Let's pack the place
watch
out.
the live
It's gonna be a good
post-game
time.
show.
So the Cavs last night, preseason opener, they ended up losing 118-117, but there were some positives to take away from it. Bull, I know you were locked in. What'd you think of Craig Porter going 5 of 5 from 3, and Tyrese Proctor going 3 for 4 from 3 in their first NBA action this
That
season?
was big.
Making those names
I
up.
thought he made some nice moves. Samaje Perine was defending him very well. And I'll tell you what, Kent Herbeck came up.
Bull, you could walk us through these highlights. I mean, what do you
Kent
think from Craig
Herbeck.
Porter?
There's Kent Herbeck on the defense. I think it was the Bulls, right? They were playing.
They
Did
lost
you
the
watch
Bulls.
1 second of it?
Yeah, I saw Gary Gaetti make that big throw.
You're going old school Twins. I love it.
Little Tom Brzezinski action.
Tommy B.
In all seriousness, a couple
Yeah,
takeaways.
Frank Viola was great. Go ahead.
I was there yesterday.
see it.
Starters played 18 minutes.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hunter looked awesome. He was 7 of 9 from the floor, grabbed 7 rebounds. Wow. They took advantage of some size mismatches. How many times last year did we see Darius Garland or Max Strus get pinned against a bigger defender?
It was a big starting lineup, Mike.
Of?
What do you make of that? That was the big story there.
Yeah, Sam Merrill wasn't suited up. I'm not quite sure why. We'll see on Saturday if he plays. But without Sam Merrill in the lineup, they put Jalen Tyson alongside Donovan in the backcourt. Tyson couldn't hit the broadside of a barn yesterday. He's got to make some shots if he wants to keep playing. But defensively, he had a couple really nice plays. 2 monster blocks. He pinned 2 guys off the glass, which was really fun to see. He had 3 assists. He had the 2 blocks, had the steal. So he brings that energy and that point of attack defense the starting lineup missed. He needs to make some shots. He was 0 for 5 from 3.
Nice box score.
Got to hit some shots. But he was impressive from a defensive standpoint. The real story, though, I mentioned Craig Porter Jr. and Tyrese Proctor. Without Darius, these guys are going to get a chance to play. And look at this stat. 5 of 5 from 3 for a guy we don't consider a three-point shooter. You can't play much better than he did. He only had 1 turnover, 2 alongside the 4 assists. He was really good.
But Gary Gaetti's slow-footed now. He's 60.
He is.
Can't move like he once could.
And then Tyrese Proctor, though, just want to give him a little shout-out, too, because in his first NBA action, real NBA action, understands preseason, but first time on the court, he was 3 of 4, showed off the we had questions coming out. We knew he could shoot. That wasn't a question. Was he physical enough and was he quick enough with his handle to get past people? It's preseason. Take everything with a grain of salt. It's not the end-all, be-all. But he made a couple nice moves, was able to get to his spots and made shots yesterday. So for a preseason opener,
You saw a lot you liked.
they're little tiny things you can take away and say we can build
Let's cut
upon
to the chase.
I like that Mike's watching these games because at least it's a break from all the depressing Browns talk, right?
Good.
What'd you think of
Absolutely.
Jerry Dibzinski there, Mike?
Jerry the Dibber.
Oh, Jerry missed a
Mr.
couple
Dibbs.
defensive
I'll go
rotations.
Frank Duffy.
It was sad.
Okay, so
for
really
having
the
me.
bottom line
Y'all
is,
dirty.
Yeah.
for me and for Vegas, for this Cavs team in 2025, 2026, it's finals or bust.
Yes.
100%.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Finals or bust.
Yes.
I don't care about the preseason. I care a little bit more, but not much, about the regular season. I'm with you. Wake me up in April.
Finals or bust for this
Finals
team. Yeah.
or bust,
I can't do that.
period.
I can't do that, McNuggets.
Why not?
Because, man, I'm not going. I can't fast forward 5-6 months.
No.
I
No, you'll
I
watch.
gotta watch something.
But you're
Yeah,
not.
no, I hear you.
I'm
They
gonna
won 64 last year. We were
Hey,
doing cartwheels.
Hey, man.
I won't be excited if they're the one seed and they
No.
win 70 games.
Hey.
I am starting to judge this team in April.
That's right.
Period.
Are they the favorites in the East, Mike?
They are the favorites.
They
in
are.
the East.
Them and the Knicks are
is
basically
crazy.
the same.
Yeah, no, but
the Knicks-
everywhere I looked, the Cavs were slightly more favored.
Yes,
than
That
they-
tells
very
you how
close.
bad the East is.
It is bad.
That a Cavs team that completely fell on its face in the playoffs
2 years in a row now.
and didn't significantly improve their roster, didn't add any legitimate players.
But I think they added small pieces that they needed.
I like them pieces. What
Their
you
roster is
mean?
better than it was
Well,
last year.
and where their
pieces,
roster
Mike,
is, you're
come
not going to
on.
add a significant
Come on,
piece.
man.
The devil now is in the details.
They add who's the best player they added?
Healthy Lonzo's a legit
Lonzo
upgrade.
Ball.
Oh, healthy Lonzo. What are the odds of a healthy
Larry-
Lonzo?
That's an oxymoron.
Larry
Healthy
Nance.
Lonzo.
Larry Nance. They replaced Larry Nance with Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, like
Lonzo
that-
Ball. That's what are you talking
That's
about?
a tangible upgrade too. So.
What you mean?
Mike,
All right, guys,
Mike, be
I did
serious.
a-
Wait,
I did an
no,
Ultimate
let's not get
Cavs
rid of the
show.
Cavs yet, because you just said Larry Nance is a serious upgrade. Like he's
we
going to
have-
make a
we have a
difference
guest
in the
here.
playoffs.
Compared to
Yeah.
Tristan Thompson, he is a serious upgrade, and we do have a guest ready, so we're going to get off the Cavs. If you want to hear more Cavs talk, I did an Ultimate Cavs show last night after the game. Go check it out. It is on the YouTube page. Went for about 25 minutes reacting to what we saw, so make sure you guys check that out. And without further ado, we are thrilled to welcome in Browns legend Eric Metcalf to the show. How you doing today, Eric?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Eric, we got to address, before we do anything else with the Browns, Leroy Hoard just told the story about when he hid in the back of your car and scared you. How close did you come to having a heart attack when he scared you in that situation?
Oh, I was very close, but his dumbass should have thought about he could have killed us both, not just me. That's what he said.
Yeah, you could have run your car into a semi-truck.
Right. That's what, but I was scared to death because he let me actually drive down the street a little bit.
Oh,
And-
no.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Wow.
saying. He didn't do it immediately.
Which makes it way worse.
Wow, he let you back out and take off.
God.
Right. Hey, and I'm a Knicks fan, so it's Knicks to the finals or bust.
Oh!
They come in
Hey,
talking
listen,
about-
I'm
Way-
way
hoping
to know
for
your
a
audience,
Knicks-
Metcalf.
I want a Knicks finals. That's what I want.
Oh man.
How'd you become a Knicks fan?
You know, it was just like when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I was a Patrick Ewing fan. I was in high school in Virginia, so
Yeah.
naturally Georgetown was right there. So I'm a
yeah.
Patrick Ewing fan, and I just kept following him and got drafted by the Knicks, and so that's where it is. I mean, I was born in Seattle and raised in Seattle, but I had left, and so
Yeah.
I wasn't really a Sonic fan anymore once I left.
The young people today, they don't understand what it was like. Georgetown, Syracuse, St. John's, that Big East in the 80s. I mean, you know, but the young people today have no clue what kind of basketball that was back in the day.
No, they see Big East basketball now and they think it's junk.
Yeah.
Right. But back then, when you, like you said, St. John's, Syracuse, Georgetown, Villanova, and it was UConn, and it was rough basketball back then. They had superstars also.
The coaches were all such huge personalities, too. It was fantastic. There's nothing like the Big
Well,
East
I'm seeing
in
John
the 80s.
Thompson standing next to Louis Carnesecco when Georgetown would play St. John's was the funniest thing ever.
Man,
The funniest thing
that was a
ever.
great time.
Hey, Eric, man, my neighbor told me to ask this question. Like, he an old school Browns fans, and he said, if you ever get Eric Metcalf on, could you please tell us what the exact play was that Metcalf up the middle was actually described as? Because everybody that is a Browns fan would be like, they're running Eric Metcalf up the middle. In their mind, you should have only got sweeps, tosses, rocket screens. What is the Metcalf in the middle play? What play exactly is that?
I mean, it all depends on how if we were in the I formation, it was basically just a inside lead play. Or if I was single back, it'd be like a roll zone type run. And so that's all we did. And I understand it. And I understand that people think I should have been out on the outside because I was kind of fast. But at the same time, those plays up the middle, those plays up the middle work if blocked properly. If you have blocking, it works regardless of what size the guy is, right? And so, things just didn't work out for us that way.
What do you think? I don't know how much you get to see the Browns. I'm pretty sure you get to watch all of it. What do you make of Quinshon Judkins? I know it's early, but what do you think of him?
Oh, he's doing well. And I've said before to other people that they were able to get rid of Nick Chubb, even though he's a fan favorite, because they drafted him.
Right.
He was a guy who can fill that void and do some of the things that Nick did. We can't call him Nick Chubb status as of yet, but what he's done so far, and he hasn't gotten his legs under him because he had to sit out for a little while. And so when he gets his legs under him, when Stifanski and the offensive line figure out what he likes and how to block for him, I think he'll just thrive.
Who do you think's the best back in the league right now, Eric?
Oh, the best back in the league, probably Bijan, and I'm a little biased to that, because he's a Longhorn. But all the things that he can do. When I look at a running back, I like him to be able to do everything. That's run the ball, catch the ball, split out if he has to, and Bijan can do all those things.
What do you? The Browns quarterback situation is always there for us. Whenever we need topics, we're just let's talk about the quarterbacks. It's been the unsolvable Rubik's Cube for us. What are your thoughts on what should happen now in terms of the depth chart? Because we had a pretty vociferous discussion earlier today about whether it should be Shedeur Sanders elevated to the 2. Do you take Bailey Zappe, a guy that's had at least some NFL experience, and put him at the 2? What would you do if it were your call?
I would roll with the rookies right now. I mean, you drafted them for a reason. So, and it doesn't look like this season is going to turn into anything. So you might as well see what you have in these guys and think about whether you're going to draft a quarterback next year. For me, it's all about Stifanski and what he does with these guys. I mean, because we don't really have an identity offensively when I look at it. And so because we don't have this identity, we go in there every week doing something different. One week we'll throw the ball 40 times. The next week we'll run it 40 times. And so I need him to figure out what he's going to do with each quarterback based on what these guys can do, because players make plays, plays don't make players. And so you need to put these guys in position to make plays.
Will Deshaun Watson take another snap for the Browns?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, a lot of people might not want to hear it, but I really believe that he will, and that's why I think that's part of the reason why they were able to get rid of Flacco, because they know that he might be coming back.
Well, let me ask you about this. You are a Texas Longhorn. Now, we were attached to a Texas Longhorn for very long. One Arch Manning. What do you make of Arch Manning's start so far? And what do you see, and what is it going to take to get him kind of on track to get where he was, preseason, in terms of him being mentioned as like a number 1 type quarterback? Do you think you need a little more seasoning?
Of course, we all need to play more, but I kind of relate his situation to the situation we have in Cleveland, in that Sark has to run plays for Arch that make him feel comfortable, because right now it seems like we're running slow developing plays, and he doesn't have time to do that because we have 4 new starters on our offensive line. So you need to get the ball out of his hands quickly and make throws that make him feel comfortable and get him into a rhythm throughout the course of the game. Now, he hasn't done what everybody has hyped him up to do thus far, but he didn't hype himself up. People put that on him. And so it's a matter of him just being calm, staying who he is, and going out there and playing in good football, because we have watched him play some games, and when he's had time, and he's been able to make some pro-level throws, and that's what it's about. So I think with time, he'll become that number one quarterback that people were talking about.
Do you think that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry both, as of today, will be back next year? Maybe that's an unfair question, but I'm going to ask it to you anyway.
Justin fire. Yeah, bow.
You went to fire, bro.
Twin shooters.
I mean, it's a simple question.
So you're just assuming these guys don't like me, right?
Hey, listen, I like Andrew and I like Kevin. Both are great guys. I mean, I know them a little bit, you know. I mean, but it's, at some point, you got to produce.
I get it. You know, I think when looking at this, I think Stefanski has a better chance of being back than Andrew Berry. Mm-hmm. I think because, you know, he's won Coach of the Year 2 times in his tenure. Andrew Berry, we had some flops with some players. Guys didn't work out. We had some character issues with guys that we've drafted and everything. And so I think Stefanski will be back before Berry, but at the end, I do think that Berry will be gone.
What do you make of this year's draft class? Because his draft record coming into this year, and I'm being nice, I'm going to say it was very spotty at best, and that's a nice characterization of it. There were way more misses than hits. But this year's draft class, Eric, it almost would be one of those things where you'd be afraid to fire him because maybe he's finally figured it out.
Right, maybe he's getting total control now, and so this year this class is producing and they're doing well, and so you know what can you say about that? I mean, I don't know what you do, and so it's hard to say if he'll be back based on his draft class previously, but I think it's all about wins and losses, and so I think in his case he'll be judged over his total drafting process.
Jerry Jeudy came over here last year, had a really, really good season last year for the Browns. Ton of yardage, not a ton of touchdowns, but he had his drops, but overall he played really well, especially with Jameis Winston. This year it's been a total disaster. The drops are through the roof. You know, he's not, and they've been in key spots, 3rd downs, 4th downs. What do you make of how he's played so far this year, and do you expect him to turn it around?
I expect him to turn it around, but I think I look at it as a frustration thing, you know, because I've been in that situation where you don't know if you're going to get the ball. We've seen him in interviews and in previous weeks talk about, just look at the film, I was open, and he didn't get the ball. So that's a receiver showing that he's frustrated with not getting the ball and getting the opportunity. And so now it's a matter of concentration because when you're not expecting the ball, you're not really concentrating as much. And I'm not saying that's how it should be, but that's human nature. That's what creeps in. And so he just has to get more comfortable, just know that he's going to get the opportunities and the balls. And when he does, he'll get back into the swing of it.
Hey, Eric, Dustin's 43 years old today, and every year he goes to a basketball court and tests his ability. Can I still dunk? And at 43, he can still get up and do it. Now, in your day, I won't ask the football thing because that's physical. I mean, you can take a pounding, but you were an Olympic caliber long jumper. So what was your longest jump, 27 feet-ish?
27.8.
27.8. That wins a gold medal at a lot of Olympics.
Yeah.
Right.
If you were to go to a track right now, today, and I gave you an hour to get loose.
How old are you, E?
Yeah, how old are you and how far do you long jump today?
57.
57.
Oh, I think you can still get 22.
I give him 24.
Well, first and foremost, before I go to this track and jump, I'm going to have to see one of the biggest checks ever.
Show me that bread. Show me that bag.
I am not hurting myself for some fun.
Okay, we'll start a GoFundMe, and we'll make sure it's a substantial check.
$1 million.
How you would be disappointed if you didn't jump at least what?
Oh, man. Oh, gosh. I'd have to say 18.
Okay.
Oh, I'm giving you more.
Oh, I think
When's the last time you did it?
When I actually jumped, I was probably in my 40s, just messing around, but not a full run-through jump, just a short pop-up with some guys. Because I'm serious about being scared to death to do it.
Yeah. I don't
want to get hurt
and all kinds of stuff.
All that kind of stuff, But I think if I really trained, I think I'd run a fast 40. I think I could run a fast 40.
I believe you.
I bet you could too.
I think we're on to something, Eric. I think you should become the commissioner of a new track and field league, but it's all guys over 40. And it could be from any sport, because basketball has some fast guys, football does. I love watching guys do things that weren't necessarily in their wheelhouse. I love when a shortstop comes in to pitch. I love watching guys that used to be great at something try it again. I'd like to watch, kickers try 40-yard field goals today. It'd be fun.
If you had to run 60 meters, Leroy Hoard runs 40 meters. Who wins the race?
Probably me.
Hey, he's on here telling stories about you, and so we can all laugh about the hiding in the back seat. You've got to have a good Leroy story that we haven't heard that we can now use to laugh at his expense.
Whoa, there's so many. there's so many. I used to tie his shoes while he was sleeping in the meetings.
Oh man!
Did he sleep a lot through meetings?
We all did, really. We all did, really. But let me see. What's a good Leroy? Oh, okay. So I think it was his rookie year. We're playing in the Hall of Fame game, and he's the rookie, came in a little late, so he's playing, I think, the whole fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Me, K-Mac, we were playing like a few plays in the first quarter. So whoever was in between us gets hurt. And so Leroy has to go in. They're like, Leroy, go in. He comes to me, it's like, no, you need to go in because I'm not going to the fourth. I'm like, absolutely not, buddy. You're going in. Meanwhile, because he's sitting on the sideline, he has a big thing of chew in his mouth. Right?
Oh, boy.
So finally, they're like, Leroy, you got to go in. He goes in, but he forgets to take the chew out.
Oh man.
He catches a swing pass, and he gets blasted and swallows it. And has to play this whole game.
That'll make you throw up.
No. That'll mess your whole week up. Not that I tried or anything.
All right, we got to remind Leroy of that when he's on next week.
Thanks, Eric.
Eric, thanks for coming on, brother. Always great.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. Yep.
All right, that was Browns legend Eric Metcalf to cap off a jam-packed Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We got a bunch of super chats.
Go ahead,
now.
Mike. Hit us.
What do you say?
Hit us with him. Hit it.
All right, let me tell Eric he's clear. Hold on one sec.
Oh, okay.
All right, now it's time for super chats. First one comes from Ghost. Windsor was a passage in Ohio. I misplaced a lot of money in a little establishment called the $1 Million Saloon. Worth it. Jordan D'Agostaro says, happy birthday, Dustin. Mine is also today. Happy birthday, Jordan.
Happy birthday.
Bill Rodewalt says, with 2 fifth-rounders from quarterbacks, Barry now has enough ammo to trade for 2 more mid-receivers. Brett Watson says, big circus, not looking so clownish now. The Hot Saucer says, please let Joe Flacco play this weekend, and please let Joe Flacco beat the Packers for a second time. This Browns season sucks, but that would make me happy.
Since 62.
What?
That a quarterback will have beaten the same team with two different teams.
I think I'm calling it out. I'm calling the Bengals win and Flacco throws.
And by the way, I don't know if this happens. I doubt Flacco will still be the quarterback then. But I'm not sure if it's ever happened before. But could Flacco become the first quarterback ever to start a season with one team and then finish the season by beating that team?
Yeah, we play Week 18. Yeah. I think Burrow will be back. But if the season goes sideways, they're not going to bring him back.
But that would assume Joe was able to play 10 games without
11
getting
games,
hurt.
yeah.
Not
that seems unlikely, yeah.
All right, Booch Wyatt says, can we stop acting like the Browns know anything about evaluating quarterbacks, Sanders being third string is a joke?
Who is acting like the Browns know what they're talking about?
Nobody.
None of us is
We all say that they are operating with a blindfold.
Miss Bell says, stop saying what you heard and say what you know. They said DG was everything and he played okay. If you know Shedeur, you know his ready isn't Browns based.
Okay, nobody said DG was everything, and you're judging him based on one game. But go ahead.
Dragon the Abandoner says, I hope you're right about Shedeur and he is ready to play, because if he's not and it looks like the Rams preseason game, that'd be a disaster for Shedeur's career. And as a 5th-round pick, it could be the end. Vernell Jackson says, so Dustin, he's been here since rookie camp, but he's not ready. If he can't play, why not cut him and let him go be a star somewhere else? You're just hating, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you for the birthday wish. I'm not hating. It's very difficult to play. First off, I was a defensive back, and it was really tough to adjust to being in the NFL. Like being a rookie's hard. I can't even imagine what it's like to be a quarterback. He was a 5th-round pick, so it's going to take some time. It's not about hating. I hope the kid has a chance, and I don't want to see him get ruined.
And by the way,
how's that hating? I want to see the kid have the best opportunity to play.
Well, and you said the reason they're not cutting him is because you think that they have hope for him.
Yes, of course.
So you're not going to cut him just because you don't think he's ready. Go ahead.
Dustin, I guess when all these next super chats came in, it was during your take on that. So there's some in defense of you, some who were very mad at you. So I'm just going to read them all.
Yeah, okay.
Annie Jewett says, the Unitas Award winner not ready. LMAO, okay.
Brody's bottom line. Winners have not been ready.
Brody's bottom line says, Fox, you don't have a clue what you're talking about. Did 1 in 15 mess up Troy Aikman's confidence? Miss Bell says, if Shedeur isn't ready, why isn't he and who's responsible for that? Kirk Davis says, if Dylan was doing what Shedeur is doing, would he get the same reaction? Josh says, we had major conversations in the offseason about how smart teams let rookie quarterbacks develop before starting them. If you want what's best for Shedeur, be patient. Dragon the Abandoner, Shedeur fans would ruin the kid's career just to get their agenda off. If you care about Shedeur, you should want him to be as prepared as possible. Miss Bell, slowly is an entire season slow enough. Vernell Jackson, what has Zappe done that you guys trust him at all?
He did throw for
beat us by 50.
yards. He went for 300 yards.
Did anybody say we trust Bailey Zappe?
We don't. But
it doesn't matter.
I think if we were all put our feet to the fire, who we trust more, I would say Zappe, because we've seen him throw for 300 yards in an NFL game. But that's only because I haven't seen Shedeur Sanders.
Bailey Zappe.
Ask the Steelers who they'd rather face this week.
Well, yeah.
You think they really care one way or the other?
No, I mean probably not.
No,
but
but
it doesn't matter.
I think they would tell you.
I think it's a pretty good point, though.
T.J. Watt saw the half where he got leveled time after time.
At least there's some upside.
He's hoping so he can win Defensive Player of the Year. He's hoping Shedeur
Bailey
will play.
Zappe is not an NFL
But
player.
neither guy is.
Well, we don't know if Shedeur Sanders is.
Yet.
Right.
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
All right, next. Neil Gray says, Judkins got in trouble with the law, but you guys are talking about Shedeur as the immature one because he didn't answer a question.
We also were pretty hard on Judkins, too, over his problem.
We shouldn't have to defend something.
No,
like that.
I know, but you feel compelled when...
Yeah, it's silly.
The Hot Saucer says, Jordan Love was drafted 26 overall and was quarterback 3 his rookie year, inactive for every game. Tim Boyle wasn't better than him. Please stop the 5th-round Shedeur.
That's the way the Packers do it. And they've had great success doing it that way. They also had Aaron Rodgers sit behind Brett Favre for a number of years. They have a system.
Well, but
they believe in it.
But they had good quarterbacks in that case.
They had great quarterbacks.
So
the last 2 were great.
Yeah.
But when you draft a quarterback, it ruffled Brett Favre's feathers when they drafted Aaron Rodgers,
right?
Because he thought it was too soon. It ruffled Aaron Rodgers' feathers when they drafted Jordan Love.
Yes, absolutely.
But just look at what the results are. They win by slow walking their quarterbacks, and they pick the right quarterback.
There's also been a lot of quarterbacks that have started right away and been great too. So I don't know that one is definitely better than the other. It depends on the player. Probably.
It depends on the player.
Have a system and stick to it.
All right, Boxing Logics United says, I've been watching this show for months, and some of you guys are spewing hot malarkey. Doggy Bone says, I'm tired of the Shedeur isn't smart enough narrative. They robbed him of reps in the preseason, threw him in versus the Panthers. With the second team, he put up 20 points. DG scored 0 points, no touchdowns against the Eagles, all running kick points.
Nobody talked about his intelligence.
I laughed there because I feel like he had robbed in all caps. Like, I feel like I just seen the
robbed was not in all caps.
Okay.
DB Dog 21 says, it may go DG starts, Bailey Zappe back up until the bye. Then you have 2 weeks to prep Shedeur to start after the bye. Morning Coffee said, Dustin said what's going on. They're trying to stash Shedeur, and that is wrong. If you like DG, keep him. Draft a quarterback. Trade Shedeur. Stop just using Shedeur. Irv says if you don't play Shedeur, Kevin will lose the locker room.
Are these people like?
Brody's bottom line says once again we giving. I think he means Kevin, but he calls him Keith. All the credit like he's the greatest quarterback coach in the world. If Shedeur's not ready, Kevin's not ready to coach either. Morning Coffee said, I bet the Bengals called about Shedeur, and the Browns said no. Benjamin Scott said Patrick Surtain said in an interview that the NFL had something to do with the falling of Shedeur to the 5th round. He's not a real 5th-round pick. These are the same people that yelled Lamar was a running back. Miss Bell says Leroy talks out both sides of his mouth. James Mace says A.J. Brown doesn't think Hurts is a top 10 quarterback. Doggy Bone says, one thing I learned about Cleveland media is it's an echo chamber of talking points that do no personal research to validate these claims. That's how Rex Ryan can get on TV and lie, and people take it as gospel.
There's no facts in that.
Grand YouTube channel says, yeah, Dustin, I saw Shedeur pass for 4,000 yards and have the highest accuracy with no line in college. James May says, Jay, I miss Baker too. Eric Benton says, Dustin spitting facts today. # don't ruin Sanders. The Joker says, new rule, every time someone mentions Baker Mayfield, you put $5 in a jar. Browns traded him. He's very good now. It's time to move on.
We tried that before, didn't we?
Did we?
Yeah, like I think the first year we had.
I don't think we ever started fines.
We had a jar for Indians Guardians, but we
We did. That was it.
Started saying Guardians.
The division is clear. The division in our fan base is so clear. And I blame the Browns. They always give us a hot potato. They never let us down.
Yeah.
Every year.
Shaz says
really
Myles
amazing.
Garrett, Sports Illustrated
Clown
interview.
show.
He says Shedeur puts in the work. Sounds like he's ready to. To me, that rest of that makes no sense. Brody's bottom line says, question if the Browns had Deshaun in 2020, do they win the AFC instead of Baker? 2020 was the year Deshaun was really good. Bull, what do you think?
No.
Do these people know that
yes.
there's going to be a time where they're going to see Shedeur Sanders play?
That was about Watson, though.
No, I know, but the previous one was about Shedeur. He's going to play. Probably this year at some point. And there's a lot of receipts that people are leaving along the way as to what we're going to see.
I think they would have won the AFC with Deshaun Watson that year, yes.
What year was
Vernell
that?
Jackson says, it's crazy how y'all trust
the
the same guy who said he didn't want Baker to let you know if the QBs are ready. We have Zoran Vasilic, who says, shout out from Serbia. I watch the show every day.
That sounds like a tennis player.
Zoran Vasilic.
Oh, yeah. That definitely ranked.
Well, shout out to our Serbian viewers out there. Zoran also says,
good tennis. Novak Djokovic. Yeah.
Zoran also says Baker would have been the answer for the Browns had he been healthy in 2021. We screwed up as an organization. The most accurate quarterback we've ever had. Sean Philpott says, has anyone given thought that Watson might not want to risk another injury for a team that is clearly signaling he won't be back next year?
Possible.
It is possible, but he also is fighting for another deal. He doesn't want this to be the end of his career.
Christopher Waite says Watson got beat 51-24 against Casey in 2019, and Barry tried to gaslight everyone to thinking he was the ticket to get past Mahomes. Kirk Davis says, see how Deshaun at cornerback or receiver works? I know they're desperate. Charles T says, Jay, why do people act like Flacco's Colts season never happened? He was bad with a good line and better receivers. I never understood that time travel logic. Davey Davis says, Watson ready to return by Halloween. How appropriate. What a scary thought. Christopher Waite says, Terry Pluto recently reported Barry was enamored with Watson in 2020. Watson went 4-12 that year. Losers are attracted to losers. Jason Topo42 says, Jason Lloyd confirmed many times Baker was causing problems before Watson was a talking point. He was a problem case. He let his immaturity take him down. Kirk Davis says Stefanski acting like LeBron with the decision. Mike Ricksecker says, who's getting traded next? Is it Njoku? Morning Coffee says Shedeur needs to request a trade, and you guys should do the right thing and back him up. No matter how many clicks you will lose, you know Kevin is not good.
Nobody would want him right now. Nobody drafted him, guys. Nobody else drafted him.
Miss Bell says Shedeur came in under DG due to hearsay and not talent. There's no way he's not ready. If he's still number 3, viewership and attendance for the Browns would fall. They've profited enough from Shedeur being here. Bobby G says the best way to recover from a Browns game is to watch the post-game show and take a shot every time G. Bush says crazy work. You're guaranteed to finish the bottle.
That's crazy work.
Crazy work,
Broadview Bo says the Cavs are the NBA version of the Guardians, good enough to lose in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Q says Joe Flacco out here collecting the AFC North Infinity jersey. And last 2 come from Shaq with no bricks. Stefanski fumbled 2 preseasons in a row with a 1-5 start in back-to-back years. he should be fired. Shedeur's been playing football all his life. How far behind could he be?
By the way, do you know who leads the Browns in receiving yards since '99?
Do you mean for their career or like
career
a
receiving
season?
yards? Career receiving yards for the Cleveland Browns since
I'd say it's
99.
still Josh Gordon.
No.
Gary Barnidge.
No.
Njoku?
David Njoku. You think about that for a second.
You know, I always say that the Browns have a blind spot.
Hold on, here you go.
At wide receiver. For their entire existence, they've had a blind spot.
That's crazy work.
That's crazy work.
That's crazy work. There it is.
That's 3 shots right there.
A solid tight end is your
what is
leading
he, 6,
receiver.
7 years in?
6, 7.
Wasn't 8. What was his first year? 18?
He's been here for a minute.
No.
But God, to think that a tight end that's known for having bad seasons.
Yeah, like it's not like he's been phenomenal.
Is our leading pass catcher?
Yeah, I think Kevin Johnson's number 2.
He was here. He got drafted with Peppers.
Yeah, right.
Jabril Peppers was.
Yeah, it was 18. I think, right?
No,
the next
Baker was 18.
The next
we'll see in overtime, guys.
We have will be the first.
See you overtime. Here's the Browns.